Hello, and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Monday. Happy Labor Day. It's Labor Day, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, Monday rolls around again for us. What is going on this week? Driver Appreciation Week is coming up. Will anything be happening at your company? Bar None talks about $2,485 a week for company drivers. That's in an ad. Can you believe it? Dylan shuts their doors. Those drivers get $0 a week. There was a 90-year-old driver, and he retired, and that made the news. And, I don't know. What do you think about that? Are there $25 a night parking? I'm being told there are some places charging $25 a night now to park your truck. That is, that's way high. All right, we got some fuel and some Dogecoin, stuff like that going on. So let's see what is happening out here today. Let's see, where am I at? All right, so Handsome Poochie was first the other day. I appreciate that. Today, it's George H.W. Bush, our president. Labor Day for the president. Nice. Probably do some golfing today, I assume. Eddie McFadden is here. Hey, happy Labor Day. Cash is King Trucking. Hello there. Everybody should go watch his video that he just put up about a load that may not have been wrapped properly. Yeah, hand stacking. Day cab gear jammer. Happy Labor Day. You're going to pop back over. Yeah, and you're going to go watch that video. Awesome. George Wilson, what's going on? Let's see here. Ken P. What's happening? Creature 937 is here today. Joan Harper, hello. What's going on down there? Nice. Going to be a nice day today to labor along. Flat Highways here. You're hungry, the Hool. What's happening? Let's see, where are we going here? Oh, Paul Harris, what's going on? Yes, George Wilson is here. And I saw somebody who's going to go get the gabagool, right? That's nice. Okay, George Wilson, right. Yeah, it's just like on The Office they did that. Remember you ordered that? That was pretty funny. Anyways, so the hours of service extension is up as well. So that's pretty good. You're only allowed to extend hours of service this time, not $3.90 to $3.99. Remember, they've limited that this time to only the hours. So they limited it up a little bit, and companies have to keep track of it now. Still good, though. Still be, I'm sure some owner-operators are still going to be making some money on it. UP Trucker Babalo, what's happening? Kelly Patterson, last time I was there, it was 20 at the TN Petro in Ontario. There are people telling me that there are some $25 parkings. 20 is still a lot. I mean, your company needs to pay for that, in my opinion, if you're a company driver, because it's their truck. I know some of them don't. I think they should. So, good morning from I-80 east of Kearney, Nebraska. MG Jackson, all right. Light traffic today, probably tonight, is not going to be great. Jesse Yawn, hello there. I just subscribed to the channel this morning. Well, I appreciate that. The newest subscriber, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Joan Harper, you're working pressure washing the house. Well, that's some kind of labor. Today's the day we're not supposed to do any labor, though, I thought. No labor today. Stop laboring. And also, as always on these holidays, is anyone getting paid for today? Meaning, even if you're working, are they paying you extra for the day, a holiday pay? You know, you can still work, but get the holiday pay. Should be something extra. And engine brake. Hello from Allentown. Oh, what's going on out there? I heard they're tearing all the factories down out there. Yeah, that's I heard that somewhere. Flat Highway, my company scheduled me to pick up at 2 and forgot that Santa Wash doesn't open until 10. That's awesome. Hey, you're going to be about 8 hours late. I didn't know they were open at all today, so that's good. Diesel Dog, good Mark, good content as usual. I appreciate it, and thank you for being here today on Labor Day. I didn't know how many people would be here, if anybody. Maybe nobody was laboring today, and everybody was going to take the day off. But I assume there's some truck drivers working, so we're out there. Kelly is going to get paid. All right, Labor Day is a holiday, whether you work or not there. That's good. Even if you work, I think you should get Labor Day pay as one of your holidays. So if they have it as a holiday and you work, you should still get the holiday pay and pay. So Chubba Wub, I'm getting my regular pay and an extra $150. Yeah, holiday, extra $1.50 in your pocket. Nice. That'll get you about 50 wieners. That's not bad. 50 wieners, could live with it. Getting truck ready to head out after home time for a pickup tomorrow. Oh, how far away from your house is the pickup? Holy mackerel. Creature 937, rolling northbound Somerset, Kentucky, trying to get to Ohio through all this Labor Day traffic. Is it already bad? I mean, I was looking at the map, other than, a few little spots. It seemed to be okay so far. Joan Harper's not getting paid. Huh. Enjoying it beautiful out. I know it's been a nice weekend. Other than Saturday, it was kind of rainy. Been super nice and low humidity here. Traffic every 10 minutes on the 7s. Rick is getting paid but not working. That's good too. Either way, as long as you get the day. Some places only pay you extra though if you work. I've seen that too, and I'm like, well, what's the point of a holiday if you're working? I mean, engine brake on a 34-hour reset, no pay. Oh, well, that's not great. I think they should pay you. Say, hey, what's the story? It's a holiday. George Wilson used to work holidays. Teamsters get double time, right? Some places will pay you even extra. So worth coming in if they call you to come in. Absolutely. Absolutely. UP Trucker Bob, I'm doing a 34 near a cheaper hotel with truck parking. What is cheaper? Under $100, I assume. I just go to the motel. Cost of parking, shower, and fuel for running the truck for air is about the same as for a room. What is cheaper? I think we all have a different idea of that, right? Cash is king trucking. Jody Spencer, I'm trucking today. Are we getting paid today also? Some people are out driving, though. I know that. For sure people are driving. I've driven many holidays, including Christmas. Chicken hauler off today, spending time with the family. Getting paid a day for my 13-week average. I'll catch a show on a replay at work tomorrow. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Family's most important of anything, and certainly more important than work, right? John M., you're wrong. I'm loading in Mars now. Some are there working in holiday pay. What's holiday pay on Mars? Is it less because Mars is smaller? Just wondering. Just wondering. So go by the mass. I'm not sure. Brian Walker just dropped the load in Gary. Got to go load at Fresno at 5. In Gary. Yikes. Not this Gary. Jerry Christensen, parking truck at pay lot with a company truck. If I pay, is truck parking tax break to the driver? Oh, not a tax expert. I would say, just thinking about it, that it would be an unreimbursed business expense. Anything that is related to work would be an expense that the company doesn't pay for. But to get it, you're going to have to itemize. So you're going to need more than your standard deduction. So theoretically, I think, not a tax expert, but I think it is. But you're not going to get it because most people don't itemize. They're at $12,000 a person, $24,000 for 2 people. There's no way you're going to itemize and make any money and do it. So you probably could get it, but you probably won't be able to. Tell your company to pay for it. It's their truck. That's why I say that. Creature 937, a lot of traffic at construction areas, especially only rolling 10 miles an hour. Isn't it great to get paid mileage and work at 10 miles an hour? Man. We're paid, by the mile, but regulated by the hour. Only 196 miles in Salem, Oregon today. Well, that's not bad, I guess. From here, at least they got something out on that side of the world. Paul, working relief in Louisiana, so I don't know if we're getting holiday pay or not. Well, I guess relief we can. There's no gas down there too. There was an article about that there's still no gas around. John, 20 Canadian is $15.96 USD. I'll take it. I've learned to enjoy your broadcast, Rick. Well, I appreciate it. It kind of grows on you like mold in your bathroom. Hey, Mark, I'm working today and getting an extra $250. Chris, now that's what we're talking about. An extra $250 plus pay, not a bad day's work. UP Trucker Bob 75, I'll still take it. Dennis Wright, where do you work? Well, that's the thing of it. Labor Day, we always announce where we work except for me. So keep that on the down low because I don't want them interfering with my videos. I see so many people out here doing that, naming their company, and then suddenly they're gone. So we keep them out of there, and I just don't recruit for them, even though I could. I'm not doing it for my company. Ironically, I will be for some other companies here soon, but not them. So I think that's the best way to do it. Gino, double pay for me. Located in Salt Lake in the last day before 3 weeks vacation overseas. Where are we going? Where are we headed overseas? Rick, it's holiday week, no overtime. Won't get paid off overtime. Oh, they don't count it towards overtime? Yikes. I was shocked no traffic in Gary. Rolled right through. Every time I go up there, because I still have family up in Hammond and Griffith and that, 8094 is always a disaster. It's a disaster. So you're lucky you got through there. A lot of times I'll get off on 30 going north on 65 here and take 30 across, or we'll get off at the next one, Ridge there, and take that way across. Creature 937, at least I'm getting paid that extra 8 hours of holiday pay to be out here. Exactly. So then it makes it almost worth it. Almost annual. If I can afford to pay for CDL training at my community college, is that the best way? what I need to look for in a company after I have my CDL. Well, yeah, the first thing is get through that and write to me when you're in school. The best way is to have the state pay for it. So write to your State Department of Unemployment. I'm sure they have a website, and ask them if they'll pay for it. And you don't even have to be unemployed to do that. That's the good thing about it. And see if they'll give you a grant. That'd be the best way. A lot of people do that and don't have to pay at all. George Wilson, you're having glitches. Am I? Am I glitching? Let's see here. I look okay here, so I got those lines. I apologize. Pat Oaks, holiday pay working. Paid by the hour, 7,800 gallons of 1993 headed to a Love's near you. We're all right. Let's get this Love's filled up. Since I get paid, Gemini. That'd be Gemini, right? Since I get paid by the mile, I shut down the truck. Traffic was set at 30 on 995. Ooh, sweet. If you're driving a company truck less than 26,000 pounds or 26 feet, do you have to stop at weigh station? Depends on the state. Some of them say all commercial vehicles. Some of them say, 26,000 pounds. It depends. Each state is different on that. Some of them do say all commercial vehicles. So, Cash King Trucking with weather on the threes. Sunny in 82 in scenic New Mexico. Oh, nice. Are you going to go see The Thing, which is not too far from you? Tom Roberts, instead of taking the crowded weekend off, I had a local shipper paying $9.50 a mile to get delivered this morning, so I'll take the next 4 or 5 less crowded days off. $9.50. I'm always curious, $9.50 a mile. I mean, is the product worth more than the shipping? You know, are people shipping stuff that is really only $3 a mile product? Jody, not glitching. Well, that's good. Pat Oaks, yeah, Gemini. I guess you'd have to run. They'll run every day of the year, I assume. So, because the Love's still open and the holidays, more people are filling up. And I don't know which one 1993 is, but I see ads for Gemini, but not many. Because I don't think there's a Love's, a Gemini that close to me here. Pilot has a place in Crawfordsville, 30 miles or so. So they run ads all the time for those, but not Gemini. New York State will train you to drive snowplows, a 2-year program. Is it 2 years to drive a snowplow? Is that hard to do? Rick Stanley, no commercial tags, but has company name on truck. Yeah, see it. But as a commercial, doesn't have to have a commercial plate to be a commercial vehicle. Gus, Massachusetts is anything over 10,000 has to pull into the weigh station. So at 10,000, so like a big U-Haul, one of those big suckers as they call them, and that's how they're listed on the U-Haul site. Pickup truck, 18, 20 foot, big sucker. I've been pulled in for flying inspections during Blitz Week, and I drive a tiny van. Now I drive a larger van, and it's so new they don't bother. They go, look, this thing's new enough. There's no problem with that. We just got a new truck, and the driver's side window didn't work. The driver, I guess he went somewhere, he had to open the window, and it didn't work. So they're taking the truck back to Freightliner to have the window fixed. Now that's some quality checks right there. Columbia, Georgia's tuning in. I was busy taking my Labor Day nap on my paid day off. That's the best time to nap, is when you're getting paid for it. Has a DOT number. Yeah, then you're commercial. So then it would be, depending on the state, what they say for the weight there. Some of them are more and some of them are less. Like if it's 10,000 in Massachusetts, I guess you're going in there. If, it's 26,000, then I guess you're not going in there. Are any scales really going to be open today? I mean, I was just thinking about that. Cash King Trucking, make sure you get some good green chili out there in New Mexico. Also, go buy The Thing. When in doubt, to be safe, just pull in. Of course, UP Trucker Bob, you can always just pull in, and they'll just wave you on if you're like, somebody that they don't need to look at. If something that small, I don't know how often they're going to say anything to you. Make a big 118 for my holiday off, DQ Patrick. Look, I'll tell you what, a lot of people are making a big 0 for their holiday off, like a Dillon driver. So they're not going to get their final paycheck until the middle of September. That's what they said. Rick's truck is not so big, but it smells like a big Pete. Yeah, do you have a bunch of cigarettes and stuff smashed out in it, so it smells like a semi? Diesel fuel. Oh, it's diesel. I'm over here in Ohio running up and down I-75. All right. Do they ever switch you out, or do you only do one kind of fuel? So that's curious. I mean, if you're there, do sometimes you do diesel, and they're like, hey, today it's gasoline day or whatever. Today it's mid-grade day. Illinois and 57 North was open when I rolled past. Sweet. Illinois can't do anything right, and then they keep the scales open. That's awesome. Is Mr. Plow, greetings. What's going on? Creature 937 scales just north for Kentucky were open. Wow, you know, I never go over scale even during regular days. They're always closed, and now today they're going to open for Labor Day. Maybe figuring they're going to get people who aren't going to log and stuff. They go, oh, I can always scam through it today. What's the topic of this show, this good Labor Day? Good day, 421. I got a number of things like this. How about this 90-year-old driver? I was curious about this. Did you see this? And here's another one that always bothers me. So a 90-year-old driver retires. He's Canadian, but that's okay. Now, it's said that he's been driving 66 years. All right. And he has 8.7 million safe miles. All right, so I did some quick and dirty math again. That's 131,800 miles a year, 2,535 miles a week every week for 66 years. Now, I don't know that much about driving 60-some years ago, but that's even before the interstate system here in the United States, and I don't know what kind of roads they might have had in Canada. Can you put on, and I'm sure he took some time off, so you're going to have to average more than 25, 35 a week every single week. Is that possible 50, 60 years ago? I mean, holy mackerel. But either way, they're saying 8.7 million. Look, you're 90 and you're still driving. It's time to retire. Whether or not because you're old, but hey, you don't have that much time left. You know, let's enjoy it. You know, holy mackerel. Captain Flatbed, good, great Monday, Rowdy. Howdy. Hey, what's going on? Oh, and Corbin, the scales at Corbin were open. Sweet. Massachusetts scale, no smoke. You still got to put them out in there. Massachusetts scales are not open, but they roll down the road looking. Well, that I'm less worried about as long as everything looks good on the outside. Ryan Walker, I'm really starting to like running these exempt loads. So nice not having to deal with low logs. Oh, diesel and biodiesel. Does Love's have biodiesel at some of their pumps? I thought only Willie had that down there in Texas. Loves are running biodiesel? Huh. Rick Stanley, you're a dedicated person. They are getting their mobile rig to get off that roller wiener mark right, and no doubt. They got to get it out there. Biodiesel's cheaper. Okay. It was $3.65 Friday. Who's today's sponsor is, as we know, if I could find it. Oh, sponsored by Hard Work. Happy Labor Day. Remember hard work? That's what gets you to Labor Day. And I did see a meme the other day that said there's a lot of people that aren't doing any labor that are, happy to have Labor Day off. They're already not working. So that's pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny. I guess you have to see it. You have to be there. It's one of those things you have to be there. Today is sponsored by Hard Work. That's how you get to today. Today was number 2 diesel, loads 1 gas, 87.93. Indiana State Troopers are all over 465 in unmarked cars and big trucks. I haven't seen the truck. I saw there was an article that they're going to be out there in trucks, though. They do pull people over. It seems like around Emerson on 465. They always have like 3 or 4 cars sitting there. Passed the thing last night. Still seem to stop and check it out. I'll go in there and see the thing. Pay your $5 and go see the thing. And then get a shirt. People in Chicago area looking to go local, check out Kazi Metal in Bellwood, Illinois. Oh my gosh, there's so many local jobs in Chicago, right? Back in the day, there was no speed limit. I think that back in the day, look, 66 years ago is like a long time. It must have been harder to put a lot of miles down back then, it seems like. Maybe some of them are, outlaw miles kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems like without an interstate system, it would be hard to roll 3,000 miles a week without decent roads. So, I don't know. Either way, 90 years is pretty good. They said he was even early on his last load. It's time to retire, okay? We're here for such a short amount of time. Don't dedicate all of it to work. I mean, that's the thing that we hate the most, and everybody goes and does the most of it. Do not do it if you don't have to. Take the time off. A UP trucker, Bob. Goodness, thank you. I'll kick off the tipping. Well, I appreciate that. I finished my first week running hazmat. Made almost double with 1,000 fewer miles. Super happy. I would be happy too. More money and less work. That's what we're talking about. And I think that's awesome. And it's not too hard, right? They're not giving you too much problem or anything. I'm meaning the scales and stuff. But Canada measures that in kilometers. That's true. But they translated it for us, which was convenient. So it was 8.7 million miles. So it was like 10 million or 50 million kilometers, 300 million. I don't know. 8.7 million miles. I think if you drive a 26-foot box truck, no log, but definitely way stations. Do you drive day or night shift? DQ Patrick. Nights. I love the night. I'm a night owl. Number 2, diesel with algae is biodiesel. Yuck. Yeah, some gas has that corn in it too. Corn is for eating, not for fueling your car. Big Berry Blueberry Man. Hey, Mark. Hey, what's happening? George HW Bush, 475 today. 300 miles plus holiday pay and no golf. Wow, that's pretty good for one day. You know, that's more than some people write me and say that's they made in a week sitting around. Say what? Get the old guy fishing rod with steering wheel shaped handle. Yeah, look, it's time to to hang it up, don't you think? I mean, at 90, let's take some time off. We've been the bile from a separate tank into the diesel tanks. Oh, well, that's pretty good. Loves in Center Point, Oregon has it too, and it gets better mileage. Wonder why it would get better mileage. I'd have to look into that. Does biodiesel have more energy content than diesel fuel per volume? Because fuel should never be sold by volume. It should be sold by energy content. 90 years in Canada is 70. Oh, that's right. He's only 71.83 here in the United States after conversion. You know how Labor Day came into existence? I assume people got sick of laboring. Not all stores run bio. All right, so the ones I've seen, I don't remember a biodiesel pump. I know Willie sells it. I've used it a few times and noticed really no difference. Donkey Bite had a bunch of PTO that was burning a hole in my pocket, so I decided to take it started work today and realized I was scheduled for one more day off. Yikes. What are we doing back? How do you get anything to do? 421. I can't remember what company it was, but they claimed their driver had all those multi-million miles, and a lot of people called BS because it wasn't enough. Yeah, that was FFE, right? FFE? No. It was KLLM driver. Right, he had over 10 million miles, and I figured that out too. And, they stuck by that story. They were even called up by a couple of news places, and they're like, no, absolutely. And they put his name on the wall, so they're sticking to it. And it was impossible to do. It was 3,800 miles a week or something. It was totally impossible. This guy, possible, because he's 90, but would you want to? And is it possible in the 60s to put down 55 years, 66 years of driving. Is it possible in the 60s to put down 3,000 miles a week? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I didn't drive then. So, other than in a car. A Fast Joe Corrigan. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it for Labor Day. So, thank you for that. So, that was KLLM. Pinkerington Security. I used to dig holes out in the sun for $10 an hour. No, I said my butt, I make 80,000. Silver. Exactly. There's a lot better things to do than hard labor. The more you work, it seems the less you get paid, the more physical labor you do. So, and hard labor just makes you tired. Labor Day, is this the day all babies must be born? Ironically, when I was looking for a picture for the sponsor, for Labor Day, a lot of pictures of babies being born and that kind of thing came up late because I'd put labor in there. And I'm like, oh, right. There's another kind of labor. I forgot all about it. Rick, it's a Mexican holiday because they work so hard. Well, that's true. A lot of people do work hard, though. Loves uses blended diesel at most of their stations. I've seen it as high as B19. Is that posted? B19. I'd have to check into the BTU content of that. So that would be for a science trucking science show. Loyalty Trucking is checking in from Shelby, North Carolina. Oh, and close to the Blind Cat Rescue and Sanctuary down there. Less traffic back in the day. Wasn't around 60 years ago. There would have been less traffic, but can you imagine going coast to coast on US 30 instead of the interstate, which wasn't built yet? And I don't know in Canada what the interstate system would have been 50 or 60 years ago. Now, he does come to the United States because this guy said his favorite city is Laredo, Texas, of all cities, probably for the lemonade from the food trucks, which I can't rave about enough. Get some tacos there and a gigantic lemonade. Super delicious. So very happy about that. Everybody goes for the tamales, including the wife. I'm like, no, right? I don't like tamales. There's no point to them. Go right for the tacos. It's because she likes all that corn wrap on it or whatever. Peter Evans. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That is much appreciated today, believe me. When I retire in 3 years, I'm running for governor of North Carolina. Sweet. I ran for public office a couple times. It's not as great as you would think. Yeah. If he's running Northern Canada, they have longer service hours. Well, but I'm talking years ago. And it isn't the hours as much as the roads. If you're taking US 30 here, for example, in the United States, there's a lot of stop signs. So you just can't make up, you just can't make that time up. And how fast are you going to be going across the country in an Astro or something like that, or whatever the heck they had then, a General, a Mack Superline or something. Corners for drinking in North Carolina. Okay, you could drink it too. It should be a food product. Don't put your food in your car. It raises the price of cornflakes because there's less of it to go around. Your studio looks like a cab at night. That's what the cab looks like, right? Always trucking after dark. I'm thinking of working nights. How do you get ready for it? Well, I've always done it, and part of it is you have to figure out what kind of person you are. And I'm serious. Are you a night owl or a day person? I mean, if you just slept, when would you wake up, right? I like to sleep longer. I always have. I always like to be up late and then sleep late. Some people are up at 5 in the morning or whatever, and then they go to bed early. So it depends. It's hard to change around who you are. You should pick something to do that fits who you are. So this is perfect for me. I'm up anyway at night, so it doesn't bother me. If you work really late at night, if you're working like overnight midnights, I'm home earlier, 3. I'm usually home by 2, 3 o'clock. If you work all night, you should maintain that all weekend, though, or all on your time off. Maintain that schedule. Don't flip your schedule around. That's what kills everybody. Keep your same schedule all the time. Hey, folks, a bit late. Hope everyone's road flowing well. We're all doing good here. Good to see you. Gus, corn pretty much is the ingredient in everything. Right, so let's have it for food, not in the fuel. There's no pump. It's already in the fuel. Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's posted. If it's posted like they do at the gas station, it'll say E10 or whatever, so I don't go there. So that guy started driving in 1955. I would love to see the truck he started out in. Yeah, there was no picture of it. That's the thing. And what were you driving then? And can you roll 3,000 miles a week in that, whatever it was? I mean, what, some white Freightliner or something? Who knows? Did they even have Freightliner yet? I mean, what a mess. Jabberwob, I just got fuel at one of our other distributors yesterday. It was a neon yellow and startled me. The stuff at my home DC is clear. Really? What? Why is it yellow? Just the additives that they put in it? I never see it going in the car, so. Or the truck, really. Or Highway 66. Yeah, can you imagine rolling down Highway 66? All the stop signs. I think that's what holds you up. Kelter Rooster Travels. Happy Rural Arena Monday. Greetings to everyone earning a buck at the manhole. Yeah, the manhole's got special Labor Day specials today. If you come in a hard hat, you get extra. Go into the Loves app. You click on an individual station, go down and look at their diesel. Deciding it will show you the biodiesel percentage. Oh, all right. I don't have the app. Sweet. Do you notice any difference with it? Because I haven't figured out that. The gasoline, right, I know the difference. So that's why I don't buy it. But diesel, no. Paul Harris got bingo on that one. Tamales are pointless. Yeah, they are. What is the point? You can't eat half of it. You can't eat the corn wrapping part of it. And they're so small. I mean, what are we doing? Seriously. Right? I mean, who's with me on this? I bought my truck right out of the gate, and I've been successful owner-operator, make 6 figures for a year now. That's sweet. Nexus, I'm in. 6 figures is the way to go. Do you make enough to overcome like bar none, though, who's advertising $24.85 a week for a company driver? That's $1.25 a year. So that's what I'm saying. Sheets has great truck stops, and so does great stops. I only drive automatic and I love holding a steering wheel. That's the way to do it. I would rather have a 13-speed. I probably only haul dry van and reefer. I would rather refrigerate it over the road. Night driving has a lot of benefits. Yeah, I love it. Scales are closed, too, usually. And the traffic thing, there's less traffic, but there's more construction, so you have to be careful of that. I wear flip-flops and drive and wear beach shorts. Nice. In the summer, I usually wear short shorts. So I get the Nair out and get the short shorts, put my foot up there on the dashboard so I can get all tanned up. Yeah, looking good. How did you do that? How did you go about your trucking insurance and being new to trucking? I came into trucking with good finances. Yeah, they say the best way to become a millionaire in trucking, like they say about a lot of things, is to start with $2 million. So that's pretty funny. Please don't wear flip-flops and shorts at customers. It just looks bad. It depends how you look in the shorts. You know what? Come in there with short shorts, boy, I will tell you, the people at the shipping office look at you right away. They don't ignore you or anything, when you're sitting there in those shorts. Twice daily COVID-19 pills coming soon. This is twice daily pills? Really? I heard they're going to develop a pill where you won't have to get the shot, but I didn't see that. Oh, and I am seeing some companies now saying, All right, it's time to get serious now, so be careful about that. Who was it? It was another airline. They're paying $200, I think, for people to go get it. And so we got Tyson on up there now, mandating it, first one. So we'll see where this goes. Delayed teaching a teenager at Home Depot how to drive a forklift. He had a certification. I did. Together we took forever. Wow. Why? The people there should know what they're doing. You need a mule to go in the back of your truck, and you just bring your own with you. You know, a forklift that hooks on the back of the trailer. Tell them to get you one of those, and you can just unload your own truck. You could unload it early and just be ready when they come in. Rick, a happy Labor Day. Got to do chores for the wife. Nice. Posted at the pump and on the Loves app. I guess at the Petro, then, it's not be anything because it doesn't say so. The troopers are driving around in local trucks whose company needs some points removed. Flat highway. I think it's Solo, right? In Indianapolis, thinking about it, isn't it Solo, that which is a company that hauls mail? Aren't they using those trucks to be the police? Perhaps he saved logbooks and posted true miles after passing the statute of limitations. Yeah, I don't think anybody's got their true miles, over the years. I mean, it's certainly possible. I'm not saying that this is impossible like these other people. This is certainly possible. I just think it's hard to do back then, and I'd like to talk to the guy about, what trucking was like 60 years ago. It'd be interesting to get his point of view on that kind of stuff and what's changed and all. There's not many people that are 90 years old that have been drivers their whole life. Eric Stanley, catch you later. All right, well, thanks for being here. Gold Picard, seems like it'll be a night owl this week because my time is not starting for 8 hours. Plus, got to sit here and have a nice breakfast. The problem on the road always was the time changing. That was the toughest part of the road, I thought, or not the toughest part probably, but one day you're up at night, and then the next day you'd get a 10 p.m., especially refrigerated, and you'll have a 2 a.m. delivery, and then the next day your pickup is not till the next day at 9 in the morning. So you get the day off, then you're up in the morning, and then that delivers at midnight, or the 8 to 9 p.m. would be the toughest delivery. Then you'd have a pickup the next day, but there's nowhere to park, so you get unloaded at 11 at night. Where are you going to park? Okay, they kick you out. You can't find parking. That was always really tough, really tough. Nexus, I gave up a high-position office job. Trucking is the best thing happening. I think trucking could be the best thing to happen to a lot of people if they would go do it. I mean, so many people, they're just talking about many articles. Oh, unemployment is running out. What are people going to do? How about they go drive a truck? How about that? I mean, that's certainly a job that'll keep you for your whole life and give you a great living. Whether you're a company driver or an owner operator, you can certainly make plenty of money to make a living, support your family, and not have to worry about stuff like that. Holy mackerel. What's your favorite interstate? I love 80 out west where there's nothing. Once you start out of Salt Lake City and go west and get the big balls that are out in the sand, and then you just got nothing going on. It's like straight. You just bungee the steering wheel together. Oh my gosh. Once you run by the balls, you got it. What's the manhole? Oh, the manhole's a local club where people can hang out on the weekends. And we have bands and stuff like that. Yeah. Encourage everyone to come in. There's only entering the back door, though. Hot tamales are my favorite. The candy, that is. I don't even like the candies. Even the candies are pointless. Because, those aren't even any good. So, certainly the regular tamales. You're looking at the truck, you look all this delicious food. Burritos and tacos and stuff, and then tamales. I'm like, why even have these on here? Lemonade, right? Always the lemonade and tacos. Priscilla, Valley Transport blends their own biodiesel at the El Paso yard. Do they really? Is that why the truck is so slow? Is it in Spanish? Because I'll tell you what, I see a lot of these MVT drivers. 50%, I would say, and seriously 50%, do not speak English at all. And I know this because they will take their phone and then they call someone and hand it to the guy, the dispatch people there, or the people with the paperwork. So then he talks to them and they give it back. Okay, so that's not right. And a lot of them are dual plated. They have a Texas plate or a wherever they're from, right? Texas plate and a Mexico plate on the semi. I'm from Mass and I never saw the chicken coops open. They just mess with local dump trucks. Good, look at those dump trucks. They're the disaster here. They never cover their loads here, so there's rocks flying all over the place, and none of them have any mud flaps on them. I'm like, come on. Cash is King Trucking. I always tell people, you're going to be a company driver, do driving that we can get more dropping up so you can get more miles. Reefers warming owner-operator style. Well, if you do stops, and like you said, which pays more, and you deserve it after restacking that load at 10 below, at least you had the doors open. But, yeah, I don't like stops either. I'm with you. Local, company drivers do a lot better as local drivers than the road. Corn is a heavily subsidized crop because ethanol. It's the only thing that Monsanto is good for. But if you're a farmer and try to cancel definitely on your John Deere, you're a hacker, not a husker. Tamales made with beef and plenty of lard are recommended. Always lard for everything. But that corn wrapping, I just don't like them. I just don't see the point of making them. Can we make a gigantic burrito? Can we have tacos? I mean, what is the point of these things? Good afternoon, Clayton. 99% of truckers need to slow down and be kind to each other at Nexus. Absolutely. Let's go to speed limit and let's be nice to each other. I'm here. Captain Clean Arena, who wears short shorts? Me in the summer when it's hot out there, looking good. Got to get the Nair. Got to get the Nair first, but otherwise looking good in them. Believe me, you get noticed immediately at the shipping and receiving office. They even have remote-controlled forklifts. Fold down so you could store it in the box under the trailer. Okay, that's nice. I haven't seen that kind. But a lot of trailers here have mules, and so I'm saying just bring your own forklift with you. Richard got a new regional trucking job. What do you think about that, and what is regional to you? Not me. I don't have enough cheek. Hey, it's all right for the shorter shorts. Miles are nice, but money's better. UP trucker problem. Exactly. Right. Don't put down all the miles. Put down all the money. But I just don't like stops, personally. I would rather do more miles in a day and less stops on the road. That's me. I want a one pick, one drop cross country rather than the same load, which might have 5 stops on it for the same money. I'd rather do the miles. Attitude is everything, and I got a whole lot of verbal skills to smack down the low-paying front office staff. That's good. Just spit out those words at them. That's what the kids say. That means talking for older people. Labor Day, your roller wiener, always. Spent 12 hours at a Love's for an oil change. Clutch Nixon. Is that a long time? That seems like a long time for an oil change. 12 hours. I hope somebody paid you for that. Most states have a mandatory percentage that has to be biodiesel. So wouldn't it be on a sticker then? On the pump is what you're saying. Like the Petro, I fill up there every day. It doesn't have anything on the pump. I would notice that. Jeff, in my opinion, it's not COVID. It's that vaccine people should be wary of. There's a lot going on that they're not telling the masses. The masses don't ask any questions. Clayton, anyone here from Martin? I'm leaving Eppies this weekend starting Martin Monday. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to Martin. I don't have a thing for them. Labor on Labor Day. Hit the like button. I know there are people doing it. As long as you're getting paid extra, holiday pay. Favorite interstate is I-70 between Denver and the I-25 junction. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Explaining the manhole. Yeah, just a club where we get together and a bunch of guys singing songs and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Westbound 80 as we speak. Those salt flats get me every time. I know, isn't it awesome out there? Go past the balls, and there's just nothing. And you get to pull over. Hey, if you're tired, it says, why don't you stop here? And there's really nothing. To California, basically. I have 2 million miles in 17 years and 9 months. Where's my reward? Well, you should get something. And you should get so much that I lost my little spot. Oh, there I go. Or do I just get a pat on the back? Companies used to give a big belt buckles, but nothing like that. If you went to Schneider, you'd have, I don't know how many stickers you'd have for your jacket. Patches? Oh my gosh. Go to Schneider. They're big on that. Yeah, go and stencil something on your truck. They ought to do something for you. That's a manhole saying, once you pass the balls. That's true too. Just turn right at the big balls. Or taking a bold, controversial standpoint on a hot tamale candy. What about Mike and Ike? Day Cab Gear Jammer. Same thing. Mike and Ike's, no good. No point to them. They're a C-level candy at best. You only take them out of the vending machine if they fall with whatever you actually purchased that was good. So otherwise, no way. No, Mike and Ike's, no. No, what's bad as hot tamales? It's like Funyuns. Creature 937. Hasn't that person seen Police Academy? Oh, it's his birthday today too. That guy, the guy with the voices. I can't think of his name now. Alexander, hello from BFE, Wyoming. Oh, we're just talking about Wyoming. All right. Michael Muller. Wisconsin dump truck only needs to have mud flap between the tires. Nice. Well, they don't have any mud flaps here, and it's very aggravating. You'll never be jobless in trucking. More people should realize it. I don't know why the state doesn't tell people this. You know, they encourage people to go to college, I guess because there's so much money for the colleges or whatever. You'd be way better off going to truck school. Most people. Heck, in 5 years on the road, living in a truck at a great place, you could set your whole retirement up easily. Clayton, boy, I've come in life at a long, awkward time. Manholes and balls on 80. What's going on? Everybody knows it's been 80 west of Salt Lake. Those gigantic balls, which are falling all over in the sand. They're all sandy balls out there in the desert. Everybody knows what I'm saying. You'll never be jobless. More people should realize it. I agree, right. If I was just shipping and the driver handed me the phone, I would say, thank you for calling and hang up. Then say next driver. They should, but they want to get their stuff out. And this happens many times. I've seen this many times. When I pull up and I see a MVT truck with the dual plate, I'm like, oh, we're going to be in here for a while I wait for these goobers. A UP trucker, Bob. All this talk of food, I'm going to walk them out and get some street tacos and a frozen margarita. All right. Thanks for a great show. Stay safe. Well, thank you very much for that. They have a frozen margarita from a street truck? Man, that'd be pretty awesome. Where's that going on? Man, all I got is lemonade. Cash King Trucking, be sure to give your tip your host, you fellow scallywags. I appreciate that very much, especially on Labor Day. So thank you very much. I want a margarita too. So where's that going on? I love my guarantee pay. I can finally slow down. Isn't guarantee awesome? Right. You don't have to worry about what you're going to get paid for. Do you throw your leg up on the dash when you're driving so you get that sweet tan? Yeah, that's how I get tanned. I mean, I can put my leg up there. I got the short shorts that are way up there, so get all the way tanned. I don't think I'll be proud to say I did 10 miles. It's still working. That one driver did. Look, this guy is 90 years old. He's only claiming 8.7 million miles. So how much of your life is left? That's really what I want to ask about that. You know, there is a point where you say, look, work is not as great as being with your family or whatever else you want to do. Anything else, right? Work we got to have to support ourselves, certainly. But family and all, that's what's way more important, I don't think. Especially at the end of your life. How much more time do you have to leave a legacy? Basketball shorts, flip-flops, and a blazer is the new fashion. All right. People would not want to see me in basketball shorts. They'd be like, oh, man, is that Larry Bird over there? Biodiesel's made from soybeans and some bio made from animal fat. A lot of companies are going away from it because of the cost. I'll send you a picture later of pumps that do have bio. All right, other than Willie's pump, I haven't really seen it. So is driving with one leg out the window and the steering wheel on the other knee and watching movies on your phone a bad idea? You can't hold your phone. As long as the phone's in a holder, that's okay. I think most of us are... for most of us, our legs glow in the dark because they're so white. That's why we're capris, so I don't make the children cry. You probably look good in it. Look in it. Look, if you get that leg up on the dashboard when you're driving, you can get a good tan going on. Flip-flops and beach shorts. I'm a proud automatic driving super trucker. I'll take an automatic, no problem. I just would rather have a 13-speed. Some states like Wisconsin do not have to advertise the bio blend if it's less than 10%. Oh, so it could be in the pump and you don't even know anything about it. I will say the gas pumps here, their Meyer is proud to say it's a 100% gasoline, which is nice. Because it does reduce your fuel mileage in a car. Maybe it doesn't affect the truck as much. I don't know. I'm still going to have to look into it. Roger Moore is here. Send me a receipt, Mark, so I can write off this as professional training. You actually could, because I do actually have a receipt app. So, but thank you very much for that. I'll put it down to consulting fees, and you could deduct that. That is actually true. As long as you itemize. Let's see. Ethanol is made from corn. Right. Happy Labor Day to all you pregnant women. If you're a trucker, it's your day today. Enjoy it. Village people haven't played at the Manhole. No, we have several Village people cover bands that play there. So everyone hit the like button. Well, I appreciate it. You, us too, between Whitefish and Harv, Montana. Is that any kind of good thing going on up there? Diesel Lady, happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you. Keltruser Travels, right, doing fine. I went across 8 in the wintertime with my trainer, Donner's Pass. What a sight to see, 20-foot chisel wall of snow. I know. Some of the times in the heavy snow, it's amazing. You're like driving into a snow tunnel. I assume roller wieners are served at the Manhole? Absolutely. Got to kind of go up and just grab your own. When you see one you want, just go grab it. That's on a sign there. Has anybody ever noticed the no mini trucks allowed signs on I-80? Who pissed the DOT man in a Chevy Love? What is a mini truck? What do they mean? What do they mean by that? Do they mean like those Honda, those tiny 600cc trucks from like Japan that come over here? The Mitsubishi, Altaris or whatever they're called? That kind of mini truck? Chevy Love diesel came out there. Yikes. John M. College is a big business, and thank you very much for that, by the way. And in a high school class, only about 10% are college material. A big reason they come up useless degrees like gender studies. That's true. You got to really look at yourself and go, can I really do this? Is this what I should be doing? We should way more encourage people to do jobs, especially jobs they want to do, much less jobs that we want them to do. Everybody should go do what they want, and I think they'd be way better at it. No mini trucks. I work for Schneider, no patches. Really? Captain Cleaner Winner? I'll tell you what. Some of the drivers I see for Schneider, their jacket is full of patches. Every 25,000 miles, it looks like they get a patch for something. I asked that one guy if he was an admiral, but he didn't like that. Why are you guys company hopping? Are you guys not brave enough to get your own truck? Company. There are a lot of company hoppers. Not me, but some people do. Sometimes you got to move. But no, I'm not brave enough to get my own truck. Michael Winslow. That's his name? Right. It's his birthday today. 68 or something like that? Yep. He's on AGT this year. Is he really? America's Got Talent? That's good. I like that guy. I think companies should incentivize drivers to be vaccinated. A lot of them are, Alexander. A lot of them. I am seeing companies paying $50 to $150 for people to be vaccinated. It doesn't seem to move the needle, though, from anybody. They're either going to get it or not. And I don't think the money is going to get people to move on that, certainly. Ken P., there you go, Scallywag. I appreciate it very much today. Thank you very much. Let's see, where did I go? Oh, think right here. Wyoming truckers graveyard in the wintertime. When I was unemployed in Florida, they asked if I'd be interested in driving. They paid for schooling and hotel. The school was 120 miles. Great. Why don't all states do that, especially right now with all these people? Some people have been on unemployment a year. Police Academy moving, you will totally understand where the manhole's located. Is there one in there? I don't remember. There are so many movies. There's no problem with people getting into trucking. It's keeping them. That's true, right? That's much harder to solve. We do have plenty of people getting in, way more than enough people. I don't want to hear any ignorant remarks about immigrant drivers who are brave enough to buy their own trucks and be successful. I have never said anything about immigrants who are buying their own trucks and are being successful. Anyone's here legally, I'm more than happy to have work here. No problem. But part of a CDL is understanding the English language enough to converse in it. And so if you can't, you shouldn't have a CDL. You and your Daisy Dukes. Well, short shorts, absolutely. I mean, all I need is a Wrangler and I'm in, right? Just like Catherine, as we know. So absolutely. It's Mr. Plow. Thank you very much. Goodness. Happy Labor Day, Mark, and drivers be safe. Stay safe. Well, I appreciate that. Goodness, everybody on here, I appreciate that very much. First rule of manhole is you don't talk about the manhole, not outside, not what happens in there, certainly. One leg out the window up the dash. Would love to see those idiots pulled over. I'm impressed they can get their leg up there. I'm like, ugh. I pulled 3 muscles just trying to lift it off the clutch. Here in PA, they have alcoholic slushies in gas stations? No way. Wow, I'd love to see that. And alcohol, so you can have a whiskey mix-in? I remember when they only had Coke Slurpees at 7-Up, and they went to another flavor. We were amazed as kids. I remember going over there as a kid. Me and my friend Dina would ride our bikes over there to, you might be listening right today, Dean. We would ride our bike to the 7-Eleven and get our Slurpees. And it was like, oh my God, they have 2 flavors. This is the most amazing thing that ever happened. Then we went to Radio Shack next door, which was next door, and got our free battery of the month. Because now at the beginning of the month, we'd go get our free battery. Been about a year before I've been out west towards Utah, so I don't know what your balls you're talking about. When you take 80 west of Salt Lake City, there are, I don't know how, it's quite a few miles out there. There's a art installation of a bunch of balls hanging off of a, I don't know what it's called. There's a name to it, which I don't have, but you'll see it. Go 80 west of Salt Lake City, and as you go west, it's on your side of the highway. What's up, Mark? Came in late, but I caught the short bus to make it here, big country. All right, we're all in it. We got no driver. David Bryant, my grandpa was a diesel mechanic and worked till he was 75. Old times don't mess around. Yeah, I know. People do. People do it. All I'm saying is that, when we look at life, it is very short. And when you ask people what do they rather do, nobody says they wish they worked more, okay? They wish they spent time with their family. They wish they spent time doing this or that. It's never work. That's what I'm saying. People find work that they do, but family, and that's where your legacy is, right? That's where your life is. Larry Bird let himself go. That was a long time ago when he was on the Bulls or whatever. Or the Rockets, Spurs things. Am I close? Saw an Amazon driver yesterday jerking his gherkin while driving on in Madison. Well, you gotta get that going. Tell him, hey, the manhole's always available. You should have called that person in, by the way. Of course, he'd deny it, so without a picture. Paul Harris, thank you very much. The best part of the podcast is no video. Look for Trucking Answers in your favorite podcast. I appreciate that, and that's true. There is a podcast that goes along with this. And your favorite podcasting app, now on Amazon Music. So I'm on everywhere that you are. So, new podcast tomorrow. Tuesday, Friday for podcasts. You don't have to look at me at all, which is pretty nice. Believe me, even I like it because I don't have to look at me. So it's even better for all of us. Have you seen this? Where did I go off to here to? I lose my spot all the time. Okay, the boot warehouse does not carry steel-toed shower shoes. I never was a shoe person. People found that disgusting, but I thought, you know what? It's going to make your feet tougher. So I just went right in that shower. You just go for it. My Labor Day was May 16th of 93. Yikes. Roger Moore, that's what I tell the lot lizards. Willie Nelson biodiesel. It's confusing just identifying as diesel. I'll tell you what. Willie Nelson has that station. He doesn't own it anymore, but he had that station, and it sold 100% biodiesel, B100. And I ran it once and noticed no difference. So it was pretty good. Didn't have any problem with the truck. Hi, Miss Jerry Lewis and all the stars that used to come out. Did they fire a couple years ago before he died? I think he just got where he just couldn't do it. If you want, we can sing the song that he did at the end. Have you seen the Sprinter vans with side curtains on the box and a pop-up bunk over the driver? No. Nice. Remember, 75 inches by 24 inches by 24 inches is all a bunk has to be a legal sleeper. So you could log it. What do they haul? I can't imagine. How much weight could they haul? Well, I guess a 3500 with dualies could do pretty good, but 5-cylinder diesel's just not going to cut it. Nevada Trucking and Trails, I disagree. I feel we need gender studies at college so many people confused get educated. Nice. I don't think it's that good of a degree other than you can go teach at the college. You should always look at your degree and how much am I going to make when I'm done with this useless degree? I was like French art history, 1800s. Is not that great of a degree to get. Mark finally came to get his very own coffee mug last week. Yeah, finally. Now, if I just start drinking coffee, from what I've read, traffic has increased 50% since the 80s. Everyone is staring at their phones. That's true. Born in the 80s, but would love to be driving a truck back in the Smokey and the Bandit days. Yeah, in the 80s, I don't know if it was better or not driving a truck. You weren't as distracted, and there was less traffic. I started driving in 88, so it was also harder. Without a phone with you got to stop and wait behind a line of goobers to use the row of pay phones in the back. Or the J. When we stopped at a J years ago, the phones were in booths, so there'd be a line of phone booths, and you had a door. You'd shut the door. It had a little seat in there. Oh, my God. It smelled like desperation and cigarettes in those places. I mean, holy mac, when you'd shut that door and that dim light would come on and you're like, oh my God. There'd be just the suicide prevention hotline number in the place. Loved watching Jerry's fundraiser, Fun for the Whole Family. Yeah, I remember watching those as a kid. I wonder if Swift drivers get patches for every wreck that they have. And that was the case, they would look like a collage painting. You have all seen these Schneider drivers. I mean, it's got patches all down, epaulettes and stuff. Holy moly. Willie Nelson's diesel gave my truck the munchies. I took this weekend off to get the vax, but got it to fly on Delta and a cruise in November. Oh, are cruises still going? Are they still doing that? That seems, it always thought, that always seemed a little sketchy to me. Like, the Legionnaire's disease, salmonella and all this, and now this. So a little sketchy on the cruising. I don't know if I would ever cruise, no matter what kind of vaccines they gave me. Not sure. Tyson Chicken won't allow unvaccinated drivers all their product. They put out a policy letter. Walmart is probably next. That's true. Tyson did say that. And it wasn't just drivers. Tyson said everybody working there is going to get it, including drivers. So they have about 2,500 drivers. And I think they have till the end of next month to at least get the first shot. That's true. And so drivers have a decision to make there. No one makes them get it, but they also won't be able to work there. So it's a decision that they're going to make. Someone quoting Ike Stevens, he hates the white Volvo Mafia. What's a white Volvo Mafia? Your grandpa sounds great. Gotta admire his knowledge. Gas station in Denmark. Sell you number 2 diesel, Coke, and a Jack Daniels. You get it. You got everything you need. I cannot imagine a Slurpee made with booze. Is that any good? I'm like, where's the Schlitz machine for this? Smiling, picturing our host and a banana seat Schwinn with a sissy bar, slurping one hand and walkie-talkie in the other. Well, I will tell you this. I had a Schwinn with a banana seat and the gear shifter on the thing in between. Okay, for a while. But then I booted up to my Schwinn 10-speed, Varsity. It was called a Varsity. And I rode that thing everywhere, and that's what I rode. And it didn't have a walkie-talkie. I did have walkie-talkies, but that had a radio from Radio Shack that mounted on the handlebars. AM only. Okay, and I would use my free battery to power that radio from Radio Shack and listen to WLS and Larry Lujak and Animal Stories and stuff. So you actually are not very far off from me and my friend riding over to get our Slurpees. Absolutely. We're looking at, 12 years old, 10, 12 years old. I have a hard time understanding some Southerners. I know they should speak English. Other than grits, that I love. Cash is King. I think I'm going to start a GoFundMe to make a police academy reboot. I'm going to be Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm thinking Shaq could be Hightower. Oh, that would be so great. What would he sell in that though? Shaq, what does he not sell right now? So he could sell everything. He'd be in the general, being in everything. Oh, I actually think that'd be pretty funny. Newsflash, the planners where our house is empty. They have found all the nuts today on the road. Oh, great. It's going to be bad tonight, certainly. Patches, we don't need no stinking patches. They get them there. I have a hard time understanding people at all. Well, some people, yeah. Heck, I'm 70 years old and still driving. Well, I mean, that's the question. It's a question I ask everybody of every age, right? Think about what you love and what's most important to you. That's all. Because our time here is very short. Very short. I've lost a number of people. I'm pretty young. Pretty young. And so you just never know. So I encourage people to spend as little time as possible doing things that they don't really enjoy and be with the people and doing the things that you do enjoy. That's all I'm saying to people. Yeah, the balls are located at Milepost 26. Okay, it's a cell phone tower inside an art sculpture. Well, it didn't always used to be a cell phone tower. I didn't know they put a cell phone tower in it. But it's an art installation, as they call it, and the balls are on I-80. I'm sure if you type in balls on I-80, it'll probably come up. I would do it in probably incognito mode first, though. Your finished slang is impressive. Back in the great state of Texas, taking my CDL license. All right. Just curious, when you said your friend Dino, you're talking about your pet dinosaur. No, my friend Dino, his parents came here from Romania, and so there we go. We met at about 12 years old. I'm thinking 11, 12 years old. So that's a long time. Can't remember what pilot in Nevada. Hello, if you're out there listening today, Dino. Can't remember what pilot in Nevada, but they actually sell liquor out there in the truck stop. Oh, that's what you want. Hey, 10% off with CDL. Oh, my gosh. Thurberg was on the Celtics. Okay, right, Celtics. Bulls, Celtics, same thing. Right. I'm close, though. Salty balls in the desert are 55 miles west of Salt Lake City. Yeah, I know they're out there in the desert, and then here's this big thing with broken balls on the ground and stuff. Everybody that's been out there has seen it and knows what I'm talking about. And that's what everybody calls it. I'm sure it has some weird name they probably hired some foreign artist. They go, oh, let's find this guy in the middle of no place to go do it. But I don't know. Started with a GMC Astro. Learning before I went on the road at Regal, we did a week of local job. So I had a local job first in a Brigadier. Then we went local. I went to Regal for 1 week, and we went from Hammond, North Hammond, to Chicago, back and forth all day in a GMC Astro. They had several of them, training for flatbed securement. We'd go up there and stage loads and stuff, then went on the road. So I've been in an Astro, right, nice. Those short shorts would be something in an Astro, I'll tell you that. You wouldn't have to put your legs up. Do prisoners get the day off? Hopefully. I never liked having prisoners work. I didn't think it was right that companies are allowed to use labor that is, 40 cents an hour or whatever. I don't agree with that. B100 trucking by Cheech and Chong. That stuff was B100, and it ran the same. The trucking the truck didn't run any different. I started driving in '74. Wow. Okay, so do you think it was harder to make although the interstate system was around, 2,535 miles a week in 1974 than it is today. Because you were way before me. Has any of the podcast downloads from Uzbekistan, Ireland made contact with you via email? Dave Johnson, no. No one from any of these other countries have made contact with me. And there's actually about, 32 countries listed on there and 49 states. But no one from outside the United States has made contact with me. So from the podcast, interesting. I just find it interesting that, there's one download in Uzbekistan or a couple of downloads or whatever. I find it very interesting around the world where the podcast gets downloaded and why people download it. I'm sure I would make sure you look around the truck stop if there's any Taliban on the trucks. They may be in the sleeper cells. Nice sleeper cells. Do you figure these out all week? I'll be here all week, right? That's good though. Let's see where, that made me lose my spot. That could be them right now. Like the salt flats isn't scenic enough. They had to put artistic balls out in the middle of nowhere to distract you. Can be. They do. They're like, let's distract people with one thing in the middle of the desert, all the way in the middle of no place. When I retire, I'm going to put Willie Nelson out of business, Alexandra. I'll tell you, he's probably going to outlive all of us. Outlive both of us combined, for sure. Did they have direct deposit in the 80s? They had direct deposit in the 90s. I remember very early in the 90s getting a card, like an ATM card. Now, you couldn't deposit and stuff, but you could use ATMs and stuff. I don't remember if they had direct deposit all the way back into the 80s. Don't remember. Seems like you would come in on Friday and get a check because I was home every weekend at that job. You get back Friday night. It seems like I had a check. It seems like it. Was your Sunday rant about the 90-year-old Canadian driver that is retiring? No. If it's the same driver you're discussing about him quitting over the speeding ticket. No, this was another guy that was 68 years old who complained that he got a speeding ticket, 108 in an 80-kilometer zone. And because he's over 65, he has to take another driving test. And so he was just going to retire. But he wouldn't admit that he did anything wrong. That's what bothered me the most. Oh, and, rather than saying, okay, they caught me and so I have to do this. No, I go through 100 through there all the time. That's what he said. They've never bothered me. And so that's what bothered me the most about it. If you're going to speed, okay. But then if you get caught, you pay the ticket or whatever, and that's how it goes. A Slurpee with booze is basically a margarita. Well, all right, if you think about it, I guess that is a margarita, right? This is just a fancy name. Huh. Well, Mark, you started driving when I was 7. I'm not in my extreme upper 30s. I'm 40. Chris, well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. When you were 7, I will say, whenever you talk to somebody, as you get older, when you people, like Rush, when you people get in your extreme upper 30s and you'll say something to someone, do you remember when they said this on the Donna Reed show? And they're like, what? What are you talking about? Then they're like, BTS, this and that. And so that's when you know you really got old. So I prefer an adult Coco. Nice. Shaq is hilarious. I think Shaq would be good. I actually like that idea. I think Shaq would do very good on that show. And he's done other movies. So absolutely. Absolutely. Grand Mariner, milk and chocolate, and brandy. All right. All the Serbian Russian immigrants drive trucks get white Volvos. Therefore, he calls them the white Volvo Mafia, and he blames them for the low rate so he can keep paying for his Peterbilt. No, I don't think so. The rates are pretty good right now. Okay, so I don't think the white Volvo Mafia, whatever, if it's Serbian Russian immigrants. I think I have some downloads from Serbia, too, so I'll have to look that up from the podcast. But no, the rates are fine. So no. You can't blame other people. Here's another person then. You can't blame other people if you don't make it. There are people making it. Or was it coffee? I got to run. Thanks for all you do. Keep up the good work. Much appreciated. Pat Oaks, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Have a nice Labor Day. Everyone loves our Deep South patrols. Hey, what's crapping, Mark? What's going on? TJ Jones in the middle of the woods. It's Labor Day. No Scanias in the U.S., so Volvo will do just fine. Yeah, right. I'll take I would love a Scania. Doesn't Ashley do the 5-star ambassador driver sticker on their trucks? Yeah, I think so. I've seen stuff like that, 5-star ambassador, and plus we're going to get the ambassador sticker from Variant soon, so we're going to have that too. They made a couple flavors with Steel Reserve. The biggest chain doing it is Rudders. What the heck is Rudders? Back when Mark started driving, he would pick out the dinosaurs from the grill during the post trip. That's about it too. After you wait an hour for the phone. At the J. I always like that little booth, other than it would stink in there. The balls of I-80 fell off the shelf. They did. And when you go out there, there's a number of them. And one of them, I think, is cracked in half. And I thought, when I first saw that, it's been out for years. It's been there for many years. I thought, oh my gosh, this thing fell apart or whatever. And then I looked it up, but I couldn't. I'm like, holy mackerel. I'm looking on my phone, and I'm like, oh, right, this is a rotary phone. There's no internet. So I had to go to the library and look it up. I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be like that. Go to the library, and where's the Encyclopedia Britannica section? A Renault Magnum. Oh, nice. Volkswagen makes something that I just lost my spot again. Dang it. Oh, makes semis. Oh, really? Hyundai too, right? They should pile up all the fecal matter they find in San Francisco on A80, the Golden Gate Bridge, and make it a new art sculpture. It basically is on the sidewalks. Oh, I know you're talking about how, I'm so dumb. Mulzer Salt Lake Flats heading out the salt plant. There's a train station on A80. Yeah, it seems like there's tracks out there too or something. I think Daimler owns Merck and MAN. They own everything. The Tree of Utah. Is that what it's called? It's called the Tree of Utah. It should be a fancier name like that. Like the Chicago Bean. That actually has a name too. I just saw Shaq on a cornflakes commercial. I know. He sells everything. That's what I'm saying. That guy is everywhere. Selling everything. Aviator trucker, never mind falling balls on 80. I like looking at the dirt track of the people that tried to drive out in the dry lake. I wonder how many trucks sank. Oh, yeah. As you go out there, you'll see these tracks that go off into the sand or into the salt, and they just end. You're like, what happened to these people? Did they just disappear into the a lost world or something? I didn't know Harley Davidson had a weight minimum to ride the bike. I've not seen anybody that weighs less than 250. Well, I guess once you get bigger, you go get that Harley. You're not going to get on. These people are not going to get on a Ninja. Okay. My mother had direct deposit in 82. I remember waiting for payday so we could get groceries. Road float. Really? Okay. So earlier. I just don't remember getting direct deposit until the 90s, I think. I just seem to remember Regal getting a check when he came in. Like Mack trucks because there's a dog on the hood. That's about it. But I hope to buy one in a year or two. I think the dog will still be on there. If you Google balls on I-80, it might give you a list of lot lizards. That's what I'm saying. Do that on incognito mode first to see what comes up. You just be ball gazing. Isn't there a rest area? There's a way to pull off there and look at that thing. Not for trucks, though. Talking about YouTube channel recommendations. Viva Frey on Sunday with Robert Barnes. They cover all sorts of things law and do a very good job with the legal ramifications of the bat flu. Okay. What are their legal ramifications of it? What about GM shutting down? That's true. General Motors is basically going to shut down all their plants. They can't get any chips. By the way, Kenworth is in on this too. I have this here. Kenworth is going to lay off 350 people. Not just to shut down, they are laying people off for an indefinite period of time. They have said they have semis waiting to be built, and they can't get chips for them. So they're laying off 350 people there in Columbus, Ohio, where they make some Kenworth, south of Columbus there, whatever that little city is they're in. Yeah, how about that? And Ford closed a bunch of plants for like a week. Basically, most of the automakers. If you go to any place, next time you're home or whatever, everybody, go to the nearest car lot and just cruise through there. There's no cars. There's hardly any used cars. They said maybe 2023 for this. Mercedes is not going to import hardly any V8s. That's a disappointment this coming year because of this. Holy mackerel. Shaq is a new face of Papa John's. I'll tell you what, that Shaq-a-roni pizza is pretty good. Don't they have a bunch of artistic stuff on I-70 in Indy? Oh, that's graffiti. I'm sorry, that's graffiti that you've seen there. Yeah, so no. I know a skinny guy who wrote a Fat Boy. That sounds like something that happens on Saturday nights too. So back in the 80s, the 70s, and even the 60s, I had direct depositories. I don't know when direct deposit started. Early. Rudders is a truck stop chain in PA. It is. You want a conventional Scania? Just buy one from a place with a lot of dots. Then Bob Tilton Holland, they'll hook you up with a nice nose. Nice. A Mercedes Globetrotter. They have those, Alexander? I've never seen a Mercedes Globetrotter. Oh, the world, right? Fun fact, Nikola Tesla was Serbian American. All right. I've never had any problem with people coming here. I have no problem with people that want to come here legally and work. No problem. 83% of the population that would take a driving test, written or physical, would not pass. That's probably true, at least here in this country, because the test is so easy. I always tell people, right, when I took my driving test, I never drove before. Never drove before. Dodge Omni, Dad drove me to the test, took the test, he drove home. Never drove. The guys with man buns drive Sportsters. They're basically suppository Sportster 883. Joseph Stain's granddaughter lives in Oregon. Okay. They're still serving roller wieners from the late 70s. They have 600 years shelf life. That's true. John M. A library. Yeah, it's a place where that they used to keep books and stuff, and there would actually be a person in there that you could talk to, although in a very quiet voice, and they would point you to things because they knew everything. The keeper of the books. I think Ike Stevens drives for Hub Group now. Okay, containers, right? He failed it being an owner-operator a couple times. Instead of taking ownership, he blames other people while being racist. Oh, that sounds awesome. Besides blaming people, I'm also racist, so don't know that, but okay, sweet. Kind of like this guy with the ticket, okay? Rates are plenty good. It doesn't seem like anybody's lowering the rates from all the owner-operators that I see on here, especially Cassius King Trucking. People seem to make a good living as an owner-operator at the moment. It's the best it's been for a long time, I think. Cassius King Ike Stevens says he's retired. Okay, so he retired. Perfect. You know you're getting old when you give somebody a stick shift or rotary phone and they go, huh? Yeah. They go, what is this? Especially a stick shift. Scania is Scandinavian. I can believe that. I can believe it. Like my ABBA that's coming back. They're from up there too. Roller wieners should be referred to by their half-life, not their shelf life. They should get the next thing on the periodic table. There was an accident yesterday on I-65 North. 3 semis, a Camaro, and another car, and 1 died. Where was this? Down there again through the construction? This is a forever problem. This is a forever problem. Maybe they didn't want to pay that toll. The parking lot is full of heifers. The rest area is on the west side of the base of Wendover at the state line. Isn't there a rest area by the balls? I just passed a VW convertible in 01 that was black. I really thought it was going to see Hitler and Goebbels and in the back. Nice. A VW convertible. You don't see those anymore. If the car and truck manufacturers were smart, they would go back to all mechanical engines. Holy mackerel. But they can't get the fuel mileage and stuff. And people, it's nice to be able to start your car in the middle of winter and stuff without having to, be out adjusting your carburetor and stuff like that, cleaning it out. Oh my gosh. Globetrotter's a Volvo thing. Mercedes has their own top of the line. Any kind of Mercedes truck. That straight truck that I drove years ago was old then, and it was still in very good condition. It was solid. When the door closed, it had a good solid thunk, and all the switches worked like they should work because it was a Mercedes. So everything in it was built better, I think. And it was probably mid-70s then, so we're looking at, it was probably 10, 15 years old at the time, and everything worked. Everything still worked fine, and it had 3 wipers too, which I thought was pretty interesting. Made it to the show. Stan John sitting on the couch enjoying Labor Day. Isn't that the way to do it? Are you getting paid? I'm hoping you're getting paid for it. I meant Joseph Stalin's granddaughter lives in Oregon. Well, we can't visit the sins of the father on his kids, certainly. So if she didn't do anything, she's welcome to live in Oregon. Have you heard anything bad or good about Summit Trucking in Clarksville, Indiana? Summit Trucking. Anybody here drive for Summit Trucking? It's not that big of a place. The blonde with the hammer or that dude on YouTube Zello? What blonde with the hammer? Ever been to a Jollibee? What the heck is that? My first look went to City of Industry. All right. City of Industry. Been out there. Does anybody remember the dog that was on the Brockway truck? And what was it? Oh, I had a picture of one of those. I don't have one right now here. GM says it's time to break out the old 4-barrel carb. Right, IROC, exactly. Look out, I'm bringing back the mullet, no doubt. I mean, the T-tops on it? Sweet. Let's put T-tops on it. They came with a roll of duct tape, so you could tape them up after a year when they started leaking. Do you think cars from this era will be more collectible because of the limited quantities? Like nice cars, not your average car? That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because you can't get them. Will they be more collectible? It's still going to be some kind of limited edition thing. So, like you're saying, it wouldn't be just like your average Corolla or whatever, but maybe some kind of high performance thing where they make even less of them, like a V8 Mercedes. They said they're going to hardly import any V8 Mercedes this coming year because of the chip shortage. Well, maybe time to go pick up that S550 and park it somewhere, or get it and enjoy it for that kind of thing. Maybe. I got paid in 74 was a ComCheck. Oh, I had a few jobs that would pay on ComCheck. In 74, there was no direct deposit, certainly. So they just paid you in cash, basically, right? And here's your money. At least they had com checks then. Would truck stops cash them then like they do now? Just go in there, give them the com check or the number, and then they would call it in. I guess they'd have to call it in then. Maybe the truck manufacturers should start making trucks like they used to. They should start with a cable-driven speedometers. The heck with the chips. Well, they're more accurate. The chip is more accurate. You can, when you change tire size, you can just reprogram it. I mean, people, I always see this in cars. People have, I think, like a better idea of how cars used to be back then versus today. Oh, this car was faster. It was so great. And then you drive one. Go drive an old car around. Right? They're pretty horrible. So, like, wow, I can't believe we used to drive this thing around compared to a new car. So, I love my 5-speed manual. I had 3 cars like that. I like them, too. I love manual cars. You just can't get them. Look, I just saw the Jetta GLI is going to be able to have a 6-speed manual in it. I thought, oh, that's a pretty good idea. One of the last manual cars. It was at the 112. Oh, so almost to Indy. That'd be 112 would be Indianapolis. I'm sorry I didn't believe racist. I think it just had one person's opinion. Yeah, I've never heard it, so I'm certainly not going to say that here. Kenworth and Chillicothe, that's what it is, right? Just outside of Kenworth, or just outside of Columbus. 350 people being laid off. 350 layoffs there. That's really something. They said, look, we just can't get chips to make the trucks, and we're just basically people standing around. So those people will be able to get unemployment, at least, because they're being laid off. I passed a couple of new car lots. I thought the place had closed down. Yeah, I cannot imagine being a salesman, a new car salesman. Right now, people want a car, and you don't have anything. The Ford dealer, I don't know how many cars are left over there. 6 or 7. You just can't get any cars. I went to look at a Mach-E. He's like, oh, no. As soon as they come in, right, they're spoken for. Because I thought I'd go check one of those out. And you look around, I'm like, where are the cars? He's like, well, this is it. Those salesmen must be in bad shape. The average V8 Benz, go for the V12 compressor. I don't think you can get a V12 compressor Benz here. AMG, but I mean, how many of those do they bring in? Collectible like the Pinto or the Plymouth Colt. Collectible like the Colt. Oh, yeah. That's something. A Pinto. TA raised their check cashing to $999. Are people getting a $1,000 comp check? And plus, do they care? How much money do they have at the TA? Will they have a bank come in? I pay lot lizards with corn checks. They'll take account? They should. They ought to have Square and take all that stuff. Absolutely, I agree. If Girl Scouts take it, that's how they scammed me a couple years ago into getting a bunch of Girl Scout cookies. I didn't have any money because I don't ever carry any money. I was a driver, right? No, but I don't carry any money. And she's like, oh, I'll take credit cards. I'm like, holy crap, you're 10 years old. She's like, Square. Right, so Zinc and sell all the Girl Scout cookies. Nice. I'm like, good job, kid. 2022 Cadillac C6 has a manual. All right, there's one more, but then you have to drive a Cadillac around. So the next generation can, of course, Volkswagen. What's the difference? The next generation can literally go their entire life without seeing cash. Yeah, well, I hardly use cash. Whenever I take my daughter out to eat, I just say leave $20 or $30 for a tip. I don't have that kind of cash. Yeah, $20. We're taking that kid out to eat. Cadillac had a turntable, and them all things old aren't great ideas. Right. Not everything. The older cars, all I'm saying is go find somebody that's got an old car that is stock and go drive it around for 15 minutes. Just driving along your shiny 15 horsepower, 29 speed Peter freight doing 120 down Cabbage Patch. Sitting in the sleeper munching a fresh roller wiener. Exactly. That's exactly correct. Astro of the 70s was hard to make. LA interstates were not complete. That's what I'm saying. So could you do, the interstates weren't complete yet. Could you have done, theoretically, seriously, 2,500 miles a week, basically, every week solid back then? Could that be done just in the 70s? And I don't think so. Maybe you could. But without the interstate complete, you have to go through towns, you get off, and then get back on another section, right, and get off. I remember it being not complete in the late 80s. The COVID-19 domino effect, is that what's happening here? Trying to get cash advance or paycheck over a payphone. Oh, that's true. Did you remember Mr. T and pity the fool who didn't call collect, right? You get a cash advance, you'd have to call in. I remember at Regal, we had to call in to get fuel. You had to go to the pump, get the price, this was their policy, and go walk inside, tell them, call the company and say, all right, I'm here. I want 100 gallons and it's $1.80. So I need, that much money on my card. And they'd put that much money, or they'd write you a comp check. You didn't get it on the card. Here's your comp check. Then you go activate the pump, go fill up. What a mess. A lot of listeners normally want to shower off your reward card. Good. I mean, I'm all for that. No rest area by the balls. We're probably out of balls at the rest area. Isn't there one across the highway then? It seems like at the art sculpture, there's somewhere to pull off. Maybe the other side of the highway has a rest area. Isn't there? Are those just a bunch of lines in the salt there? I pay lot lizards with reward points. That's nice of them to take the points. Jollibee is a Philippine chain. Oh, see, I haven't driven in the Philippines. My dad was actually, not that anyone cares, stationed in the Philippines for many years in the Army as a radio station reporter and stuff out there. So one of the things that he did in the Army, the hurricane wiped out a lot of cars. Oh, those cars aren't wiped out. Believe me, they're going to be in the used car market. Check your Carfax, but a lot of them won't be on there. So, yeah, be careful about that. People, used car lots everywhere will be selling all these used cars that have been flooded. My Kia Forte Coupe is a 6-speed. Alexander, really? All right. One of the few left with that, right? How's that car doing? Probably pretty good. I'm pretty sure they only left one planner in the office for the holiday where I work. They may have had a boozy Slurpee. Yeah, I didn't know you could get all these Slurpees. I never really thought about it, though. Margarita's just a fancy Slurpee. The Pinto, the Vega, and the Chevette. Chevette. I had a Vega. I had a Vega GT. And I don't know who got the idea to let's put GT on it, but still give it 110 horsepower. I drive a Mini. You can buy those with a standard transmission. All right. I don't know if I could get in a Mini. They're really tiny. And they don't all come with a manual, or do they? I'm going to go ride on my 82 300 TD again this weekend. That'd be nice. See, and it's still solid. Those doors and stuff. I mean, that's how you can check the quality of a car, even though it still rides like an 82, right? All the switches in all that car work, and you can feel that they still work. They're not all, bad, and the doors close right and everything. And those years, right, were Mercedes' best years. Anyone ever get a load to Stanley Tools? In Conover, North Carolina, driver lounge actually is a working payphone, but it's meant to be like a regular phone. It's retro looking, no collector quarters. That's nice. Truck stops still usually have a payphone. At least one payphone. Keltrooster Travels, nice chatting. Have a good one. All right, thanks for being here. Gino just came in the yard to drop a trail, and they're feeding us wieners and burgers and cold beverages. That's nice. They're a week ahead of Driver Appreciation Week, and that's pretty good of them today. You're out working, they can at least do that. Oh, Canadian guy could have been running dedicated routes, set amount of miles. He could, but can you do that many miles a week in 1964? Think about that. Could you do 2,500 miles a week? I mean, in the 60s. We are just starting the interstate system, so it's mostly 2 lanes or 4-lane roads. There's a lot of lights. And I don't know how Canada was then. I picture it as wagon ruts because I don't know that much about it. I mean, the police there are still on horseback. They don't even have cars yet. So that's what I'm saying. I got stopped by a North Carolina trooper, and he gave me a warning for 68 and a 60. I've heard they do that so you can't fight it in court. Is that true? Well, Stan Dodge, you don't have to fight it in court because it's a warning. So you didn't get a ticket. You'll get points for it, and that's hard to get reversed. But at least you don't have any points on your driver's license. You get PSP points or whatever, your CSA points. And because it's a warning, at least you don't have a moving violation on your license. My father bought the first Ford Pinto off the New Jersey assembly plant. The plant's been closed for 20 years. And it's an electronics building. What did he think about his Pinto? Pretty sweet. I sold my 58 Chevy pickup because my extreme upper 30s arms could hardly turn the steering wheel. Columbia, Georgia. I know. So, I mean, everything is great until, you realize, wow, new cars are so much nicer. It's quiet, very comfortable to drive all day. Not so much in, your 58 pickup truck. I hire lot lizards to clean the inside of my truck. They do a good job on knobs. Oh, that's sweet of them. Better late than grounded to mechanically separated beef, pork, and chicken wiener out cleaning the pool, Roger Penske. Well, not very nice. Did you see this guy in Logansport, Indiana, which is an hour from me, died a few days ago because of mechanically separated chicken parts and chicken entrails? They were cleaning a tank, and he fell in the tank. That's what they said, at some kind of tank cleaning place up there in Logansport. If anybody's been to it, I don't run a tank, so I don't know what it is. And he fell in, and I guess the stuff had been in the trailer a week. And it turns out that when you smell all that after a week in there, it kills you. Somebody else jumped in to go get him, which you should never do. Okay. That person was overcome with fumes. Also, a third person went down there to get that person. The ambulance had to come. Number 1 guy, dead. Number 2 guy, hospital. Right? 3 guy, somebody grabbed him, snatched him out of there. Holy mackerel. Did you see that? You can die from chicken smell. That's horrible, by the way. Tell them you actually want a full-on ticket. That way you can fight it. Please give me a full ticket. Nothing like a gremlin. Oh, that'd be nice. Via Gremlin X. My brother's 6'2", disrespectable. He has no problem getting in it. It just seems so small. It just seems so small. I mean, it is a Mini. When you park next to it, it's tiny. I had a banana yellow Ford Pinto, in 79. That's one of the last Pintos. 80? I think so, last year. When I was broke down in Auburn, Washington, I went to cash a comp check, reimbursed me for a hotel stay. The idiot behind the counter authorized it as a check, but couldn't cash because it's loves only. Stupid. Got my driver's license in 79 and took the road test on a 4-speed 71 Pinto with a 1.6 single barrel. Had a timing chain and not a rubber band. It had push rods. Yeah, that's how they were, right. But the thing is, you get way more power than that now out of a car at the same fuel mileage. So that also is useful. That Plymouth Colt at a 5-speed in a high and low range. It's a hatchback. That's true. Some of them, because it's really a Mitsubishi, right? That was made by Mitsubishi and imported for Dodge, as it said, or imported for Plymouth. It was a Mitsubishi Colt, and some of them had a twin stick in them. That's true. They were twin sticks. Some of them got the Mitsubishi twin stick. Cash checks by express code. What a mess. Yeah, well, back then you had to write a thing out and take it up there. It was a mess. It wasn't great. And get a membership with Legal Defense Team. I recommend Interstate Trucker, Aaron White. Go at least, I did a video about these, by the way. At least get something. At least talk to a lawyer. Always. With every ticket that's going to go on your license, talk to an attorney. We're talking to him to see what can be done about it, because every ticket gets you closer to not having a job. And you never know when your company like Dillon will close and you need a good record to go get another job. Plus, you should just keep a good record anyway. So, of course, you could do 3,000 miles in the 60s. There was no such thing as a logbook. Drivers would drive 2 and 3 days straight. Well, Roger Penske, the log laws started in the 1930s. So are you telling me, am I to hear something? I don't believe it, that drivers would drive over their hours back then, even though they're required to keep a logbook? I just don't believe it. I can't believe what I'm hearing with my ears. Remember the Cordoba with the, now look, I had a 78 Cordoba. Okay, and it had rich Corinthian leather, and it was soft leather. Power seats, 318 lean burn, 140 horsepower. Yeah, pretty slow. I was up in Montreal for Expo 67, and the roads were great, John. So would you say, and this driver's Canadian, but I don't know if he drove all in Canada, 2,535 miles a week is possible, all the way back for the last 66 years. And you'd probably have to do a little more than that. I'm sure you'd take some kind of time off. So let's say 2,700 miles a week average. I mean, maybe. It might be possible. I just know the roads weren't even great in the 90s. Saw the video where Pennsylvania DOT tried to give a ticket to a truck at a truck stop waiting to get a tire fix. I know that video made some time around there. You're stupid. These guys are stupid. They're like, oh, this guy gets a ticket. Idiots. I go to a warehouse where they still pay the temporary workers in cash. That's, well, actually, it's not illegal. I actually looked that up for somebody. Can I get paid in cash? Yes. As long as they keep a record of it and tax you and everything, then it's still legal. So I'm sure they're taking all the taxes out. Just like potatoes fermenting in a reefer. Michael Muller, yeah. And he wasn't in there cleaning. He fell in it. I don't know how that happens, but they should be doing a better job, I guess. OSHA's investigating and everything. He died in there. He died because I'm sure it was a disaster. And you can never go, that's a safety thing, which everybody should understand that. If somebody falls in a tank or whatever and can't breathe, you cannot go after them until you suit up, because you're going to end up, that second guy went to the hospital, same reason. He got out sooner. You can't just jump in and get somebody out of there, as sad as it is. You can laugh, but I've done it, requesting a full ticket. And they do it. They're like, okay. 7-year-old Girl Scout selling cookies with that little square thing attached to their phone to accept payment. Ken P. Yeah, absolutely. When they're out, they have their little table set up. I always buy Girl Scout cookies from them because I want to support the Girl Scouts, and the cookies are delicious. Okay, all right. It's mainly because I love Samoas. Either way, right? They accosted me in front of Meyer or something. Do you want to buy some cookies? I'm like, well, I don't have any cash. And she's like, oh, no problem. I'll take your credit card. And she had Square plugged in her phone. I'm like, crap, this kid's got me. So, of course, I said, look, I'll buy them on the way out because I don't want to walk around the store. I'd eat them all. And I did. I did buy a bunch of cookies, of course. Every year I do that. Mitsubishi's always built crap. Alexandra, look, there's nothing more. If you like a stick shift, imagine shifting 2 stick shifts in your tiny car. And it had no power, 80 horsepower, maybe 70 horsepower. So you're forever shifting high and low. Oh, yeah. Just great. It was, at least it's more fun than, anything. It's always more fun to drive a slow car fast than to drive a fast car slow. Mitsubishi pulled out of Europe now. No new cars. They're bleeding money. They hardly sell any cars here. They hardly sell any. They got a couple of low-powered SUVs here. The Eclipse. They're like, let's bring the Eclipse name back and stuff like that. I'm surprised they're still here. They have a good warranty, but who's going to buy them? And a Mirage? 3 cylinders? Really? Come on. It's the lowest powered car in the United States for sale, new. Joan Harper, I've got an interview tomorrow at McDonald's in New Albany. Several companies are changing the rules from no experience to 1 year. Really? I would think they're going down, if anything. Who moved up from none to a year? And good luck on the interview. I still have my 64 Rambler with a flathead 6.3 with a 3 on the tree. Now, you and me and probably 10% of the people here have ever driven a 3 on the tree. I had a Nova with a 3 on the tree in it, of all things. But most people, you get that, and they're like, they have no idea how to drive that. Even my wife, who can drive a stick, no problem, has never driven a 3 or 4 on the tree. So that would be fun. Do you ever drive the thing around? I think that'd be a blast. That's a car for car shows. Plymouth Colt was my first car, Jeff. 15 years old, saved up my money working on a farm, paid $600 for it. Was it a stick? And was it the twin stick Colt? I pledge allegiance, and pledge is in large letters. Nothing like a Regency 98 with the double padded velour like sitting in your living room. I had a 78 Regency 98 last year for the 403 in the car, which this one had. It was very nice, like driving a couch down the road. Super nice. Slow, though. People think, 403, 185 horsepower from the factory. So, and I had duals put on it, among a couple other things, so I was only getting a few more. Slow. Traffic warnings are points on company record and penalty charged by company, so I got to defend. All right, look, any ticket should be fought. If you can get them to give you a ticket and fight it, here's the thing, though. If you upgrade it, you're basically upgrading yourself to a ticket, and you lose, you go to court and lose. Now you've got actual points on your license where you would have only had CSA points. So it's something to think about. I guess if it's your truck or whatever, that might be a different thing to actually consider. Remembering from 74 to 86, the speed limit was 55. Yes, I had many cars that said that on it. Most trucking companies had teams for runs of more than 1,000 miles. Oh, it was horrible. Going slow, 50, you'd like creep along a 57 or 58 and think you're really doing something. I had a Chrysler, where did I go? Oh, I saw a Chrysler come up here. A LeBaron, the rich Corinthian leather in 82. Okay, those were nice too. Not as nice as a Cordoba. But that leather, Roger Penske, was that not the softest leather? I mean, cars today with leather is nice, but the leather then, so much padding, so soft, so soft. You felt like you're sitting right on a cow. I was at a warehouse the other day where each lumper was still an independent contractor. Not legally. The receipt they gave you has their social security number on it for tax ID. Some stuff never changes. Yeah, each one is an independent contractor. Do you think each one has a contract with the warehouse to just come in independent? What if that guy doesn't want to come in the next day? I wonder how that works at that place. There's so much of this that goes around. And was the Social Security legitimate? Cash is King Trucking. I've been to some chicken processing plants that the smell made me thought I was going to die. Can you imagine being in a trailer then? Well, actually, you would die because this guy died. The fire department came out and said 4 minutes and you're dead. They had to suit up in spacesuits to get him out of there, which is terrible because he died. But it was a week. They said the stuff had been in there. It was mechanically separated chicken parts and chicken entrails. That's what the article said. That it had been in a trailer, Presumably not a refrigerated trailer. For a week. Trucker Hershey's late in mountain time and forgot everybody's out west right now. Are you by the thing? Let's ask that. I read that the 1971 Pinto had 307,000 miles before I blew the engine up. That's not bad. A reader trucker. For a Pinto or any car back then, that's pretty good. There was a Plymouth Diplomat, had digital instrument panel. Yes. Plymouth. Too bad. I had some Plymouths too, although mostly Fords. Whatever the Girl Scouts hit me up to buy cookies, I just tell them I can get the same kind of cookies with a different name for cheaper inside the store. Get him. You're terrible. Getting them ready for life's reality check. That's terrible. Now, I will not buy cookies unless the Girl Scouts are there. Okay, if their parents are out selling it for them, they're not learning anything. But if they're out selling, trying to get that yes when they're going after a bunch of no's, look, I think there's something to be said for that. You know, where you got to approach people, cold call. You're basically doing a cold sell on people that are just walking up. Absolutely. I think there's something to that, and I give them credit for it, and so I buy their cookies. Because that's also... But you're like horrible. Listen, kid, I can go in here and get these Oreos for half price of what you're selling. Beat it. They're like, oh, if you found a tank truck on the force, did it really happen? Oh, that's terrible. Trucker Hershey, cash, that's cruel. I mean, wow. They're like, wow. Cash is king trucking. It's for the cause. That markup. They're expensive. They're $5 a box, I think, now, and you get like 6 cookies in there. But holy mackerel. This kid's out there trying to beat the streets and get people to buy her cookies, getting all these no's, and has to go out for the next yes. I mean, this is sales 101 right here. You gotta hand it to them. If it's just the parents, no. But if there's kids out there, absolutely. You gotta buy at least a box of cookies. Oh my gosh. It's terrible. Listen, kid, I can go in here and get Walmart brand cookies. Oh my gosh. I agree with Mark about the lawyer for the tickets. I had an over axle limit ticket in Virginia, 95. I took the express easy pass lane. However, it was entered as an HOV lane violation. So lesson learned, really. Yeah, always, thank you for that, Clayton, by the way. Always get a lawyer. At least talk to a lawyer. Even if you don't hire him, I don't know if I want to talk to him and see, okay, this is what I got, what can be done? And what is going to be the effect on my license if I take this ticket? Could be worse. Covered wagons on the Oregon Trail probably went only 250 miles a week. Yeah, imagine crossing the country. Didn't Eisenhower took him like a month or 2 months across the country when he said, hey, this is about garbage? Cassius King Trucking. I saw a Boy Scout in front of a Walmart in Oklahoma selling popcorn. I thought the Boy Scouts went away. They're the Scouts now. It's Scouting USA. Have you ever driven a truck that had a 2-speed rear end? Yeah, my Brigadier, the first truck I drove, was a 2-speed. It was a 5+2. So, yeah, it had the switch actually was for the rear end. Electronic rear end. Yep. 5+2. Your 66 Bel Air had a 3 on the tree. Yeah, pretty neat. Especially people behind you. You're up the second way up here, and people are like, oh, what's going on? It was a twin stick. I was proud of that monstrosity. Right, exactly. I'll stick with Chevy Silverados. I had nothing but good luck with them from 77 to 05. That's not that old. I'm talking, people always think cars like from the 70s. Oh, I had a GTO, and you look it up, it's like 6 seconds to 60. That's like barely faster than my Escape. So, yeah, it's faster, but I mean, come on. Cash, it's now known as Scouts, all inclusive, like Clubman. Yeah, that's true. But I think they still sell, the Boy Scouts still are doing the popcorn. I'm not a big fan of the popcorn. Clarence, my first car was a Pinto. I had a sign in the back window that said, last chance, women were curious as to what I meant and wanted to ride with me. Really? You could pick up women in a Pinto? Oh, they're like, hey, you have a Pinto? Kentuckiana Trucking for Local. John Harper. Oh, really? Cover wagon, really? They're going to a year trucking? A cover wagon days was 10 miles per day, I think. That's all the horse could do. Mirage is horrible. Doug DeMiro did a review of one and didn't like it. Alexandria. Yeah. Well, it's 70, 70 horsepower, 72 horsepower. I mean, you're better off getting a Spark, which I've always thought is probably a great purchase as a new car. But, I mean, come on. 3-cylinder, 70 horsepower, and a CVT. You're breaking into farms to sit on cows. I love it. I had a Yugo Turbo. I had to just Sharpie the turbo on, but it's only Yugo Turbo. I always refer to that mechanically separated chicken as butts and guts. Is that? They said it was actually going to go for pet food, and I thought, is this what we're feeding the pets? This kind of stuff, it's been in the trailer for a week. If it's going to kill somebody, why are they feeding it to your pets? You have to leg day pretty regularly to drive the 3 on the tree or be part mule. The freaking clutch feels like it's using the spring from a brake can. Well, right, that's the other thing back then, right? Now we have all these hydraulic clutches and stuff on cars. Then the few cars that have it left, not then. You were pushing that clutch, especially on a V8 or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Leg day. That's why you do the shorts, too. Show them off. My dad had an old 67 Javelin with the 3 on the tree. That was awesome. Do you ever drive it? Did you ever drive that car? I hope they taught you how to drive it. It's not a cold call. It's what's called a warm call. Well, I'm saying if you're walking up to somebody that you don't know, it's basically a cold call, right? Hey, would you like to buy this? Like you're just cold calling that person. That's what I'm saying that the Girl Scouts are getting, and they probably get a lot of no's. And you just got to be like, you just got to keep on going because they do enough no's, you get a yes. 6940 Kano line with a 3 on the tree with a top speed of 65. Yeah, that's the other thing. The 3-speed didn't get you a lot of top end, did it? Hauled those chicken parts. Heck of a smell, even if frozen. It's what's in a Vienna sausage. Is that true? It's what's in a Vienna. It said it was going for pet food. That's what the article said. And I'm like, why are we giving it to our pets if we won't eat it? The Colt was a result of a station wagon and a Pinto having a baby. Yeah, with the dual stick. Actually, it's not a cold call. It's what's called a warm call, selling existing products and service to existing customers. Roger Penske. Well, we don't know if they're existing customers. These could be new customers. It's an existing product, but the people may have never had a Girl Scout cookie. I don't know who those people might be, but it's possible, I guess. Either way, look, and I agree with you. It's good experience for later. All right, just get out there talking to people and stuff, and it kind of sells itself too. I mean, they do have a great product. And what are you supposed to say to some 10-year-old that wants to sell you cookies and you know they're in a Girl Scout uniform? What are you supposed to do? Well, I guess you can just be like, listen, kid, I could go in this store and buy these for half price, so hit the bricks. We used to have a veal processing plant that smelled like terrible, located next to SUNY Tech. Oh, great. They go, look, if you don't finish here, you're going to be working over there. I still drive my Rambler. I had the flat-held rebuilt. Really? See, that should go to car shows. There should be one around you today. And that'd be a great car to at least take to a car show once a year. I always think that about people that have a classic car or something. Take it to a car show. Let everybody see it. I'm always happy, and I thank everybody that comes to the car shows. Whenever I'm there, I'm walking around talking to everybody. I'm like, thank you for bringing this car out. This is an amazing car. Whenever I see some car that I never see at car shows. Because a lot of these are just stored in people's garages or whatever. Let's get this car on the road, drive it around, and let people see it. Samoas are good, but I love the thin mints. I moved over to the Samoas. Thin mints are just too average. You know, everybody gets them. I want to be extra, and that's what the kids say, and so that's what I try to do. Was that before or after NBC showed the Pinto blowing up? Look, only some of them blew up. They didn't all blow up. The Rambler was a 4-door. It still goes to the car show. Columbia George, my 77 Chevy C10 had a 305 and a 3 on the tree. Paid $500 for it in 84. That would be a real truck, I'll tell you. But that truck should go to a car show, I think. Get that thing out there. I was to be a Girl Scout, but I will not support anything that they promote with the perverted things they teach. I never buy anything from the girls or Boy Scouts. Kids need to be seen and not heard. So you're on the Cassius King Trucking. You two walking into a store together, I can imagine. Listen, kid, and you're over there. Hey, shut the heck up. I didn't speak to you. He's like, I can get these cheaper in there. These girls are crying. I can only imagine it. Oh, my gosh. If you can pick women up in a Pinto, you got game. Yeah, I mean, it's that single window in the back and the runabout. That must have got him. My very first car was a 91 Monte Carlo. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I had an 85 Benz 190D with a 2-liter and an unlined 4 with 72 horsepower and a 4-speed manual. And I'll tell you, that car at 72 horsepower is way better than any Mitsubishi Mirage at the same kind of horsepower. And it probably will still be running today. Vienna is beef. Are there any mechanically separated chicken parts? If you can die in the trailer in 4 minutes, why are we feeding that to anything? How does the cat live on it if it goes... They actually just said pet food. I was just thinking of cat food. How can the cat live on it and it kills somebody that falls in it for 2 minutes? Actually, the 4 minutes, they said. My dad taught me to drive a Chevy van with a 3 on the tree. Great memories. No doubt. I mean, that would have been great. My parents never had any kind of manual. My mom never drove. Doesn't drive to this day. But they never had any kind of manual cars. We always had these big Plymouths. We had a Fury wagon and a Dodge St. Regis and, all these gigantic Plymouths. Can't call them Boy Scouts. It was real sexist, but they're still Girl Scouts. Tom McCash. They're called Scouting USA now, right? Legally. See you next week. Thanks, Mark. George Wilson, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Clarence, aren't they bringing back the Maverick? I wish they would bring back the Torino. They're not bringing the Maverick back in the same way they should bring a Maverick back. It's a pickup truck with a hybrid engine in it as standard. You can get the 2-liter in it, but it's a hybrid standard pickup truck that's tiny. It's the size of an old Ranger. So we have F-150 now, Ranger, and then Maverick, which will be a small one. It's going to be their entry-level car. That's what they said. They want people to buy that instead of like Focus Fiesta that used to be their entry-level. I guess Vienna sausage would count for roller wiener Monday. It's miniature wieners in a can. Yeah, that's in case you only want a tiny wiener. That works out too. Yeah, depends what you want, right? Nope, my 69 Caddy convertible has 17,000 miles on it. How does that happen? All those miles better be going to car shows. I'm going to be sad if that car never goes to a car show. Cujo ruined the Pinto brand. That car saved them. Warehouse I used to work at used to allow us to work on our paid vacation as lumpers. You could make as much as $3,000 a week until the company found that they could pay a couple guys minimum wage. Yeah, that's the thing. They figure out how to do it cheaper and boot you out of there. Lumper seems like a lot of work if you're actually doing lumping work. And then you can pocket the rest. Wait, if you think the chicken parts are bad, don't ask what's in the Hormel. Hormel is like great stuff, isn't it? Let's see. So the Vegas with all the aluminum engine block were bad news. Yes, because it had it didn't sit right. The aluminum and iron and was not good. Mine ran good. Picking up girls in a Pinto using the Mr. Microphone. I had a Mr. Microphone. My parents, I don't know why they got it for me. I used to use it all the time. Hey, I'm on the radio. It worked good. You tune into the station it had on the thing, on your FM radio, and then you could talk through it and come out the radio. I was like Larry Lujak. I put my hand in the air inside and say, don't ask. The hand, talk to the hand, girls. The hand. Oh my gosh, you people are horrible to the Girl Scouts. I can't do that to some 10-year-old girl. Excuse me, sir, would you talk to the hand? I'm buying these cheaper inside. Oh my gosh. Keebler made some direct Samo ripoff. You can get them like 2 boxes for $4. Casting direct. The money isn't the idea. You're supporting the Girl Scouts and you're teaching kids a lesson about sales is the idea. That's why I don't buy it unless they're there. If their parents are just selling it or bring something to work like, oh, sign up for these, we'll order these things. No. Sometimes kids come to the door, rarely. Their parents are with them. But then, like if they're selling, they just sold candy bars a few weeks ago. Some kid was selling candy bars. I'm like, heck yeah, give me some candy bars. Because it's some kid out selling stuff. So yeah, I'm in for it. Keebler makes a direct Samoan ripoff. Volkswagen Bugs were 4-speeds. I test drove a Volkswagen Bug years ago, and it had a weird 4-speed. It wasn't direct because the pattern went sort of to the right. I assume it's because it was normally a right-hand drive car for Germany, and it didn't change. So they were sort of angled. I noticed that, and it was actually on the dashboard like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, angled somewhat to the passenger side. I guess you'd probably get used to it pretty quickly, but I liked it. I didn't buy it, but I just thought it was unusual. I know GP Transco or Fleet Nav today. No, I assume they'd take the day off for Labor Day. Stand out. I listen to every episode of the podcast. Love to hear the reasons why we're not on Mars. Is your co-host here today? She is not here today. The birds were all gathered around the bird feeder. I filled it up this morning, and she was back there and was watching them, trying to protect the house, but then fell asleep. So it's the last I saw her in the sun. Once the sun hit her, she was out. So remembers the truck and Bozo? I saw the Bozo at the truck show years ago in Louisville, and there was a long line. It was like, he was almost carried in by 4 people. It was really amazing, the line to see that guy, the truck and Bozo. Yeah. Cash King runs for cheap rates when he's not bullying Girl Scouts. Well, that's the thing. He doesn't run for cheap rates. He's teaching Girl Scouts about the world, which I think is hilarious. And I don't think you have to buy cookies from him, but I do. I'll see that I buy some cookies if the price match. Hey, girls, If they don't price match, I just leave the store from a different door. Oh, look, you don't have to hide from an 11-year-old, all right? Okay, you don't have to do that. Will you price match? Oh, my gosh. Can boys join the Girl Scouts? I don't think so. I actually don't know. I made lasagna yesterday and got some in the oven now to eat. That's pretty good. I hope you brought enough for everybody. I tell the Girl Scout they need to make sugar-free cookies. I'm too sweet. Don't they have one of them? Isn't one of them sugar-free? I'd have to look on the site. I think there is one that is sugar-free. Hormel is like great stuff, right? Immediately had an image off someone eating spray foam like Cheese Whiz. Yeah, right in your mouth, exactly. Germany is left-hand drive. Only the UK and Ireland are right-hand drive. The whole. All right, well, so shows what I know. All right, well then, I guess not. Then I guess it's just an unusual pattern. I mean, I noticed that because if you went straight back 1, 2, it wasn't there. It was off to the right. And then 3 was like straight forward. And then 4 was off to the right again. That's how that bug went that I drove. It was a 71 or something. It ran great. I love those little sometimes you just want a tiny one. In South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Japan. Okay. The Chevy station went the wood grain on the side and the rear facing back seat. We had a number of wagons like that. And my mom, right, my stepfather worked at the mill. Every 2 years or so, we would get a new wagon. And you could see when they did better, right? When they first met, he had Ford LTD wagons. And then once things got better, we built a new house. And then he started getting Mercury Colony Park wagons every 2 years with all the wood trim on it and everything. Yep, Mercury Colony Park. Also, Australia and India as right-hand driver. There's a lot of cars in India. No one ever comes to my door. Everyone around here thinks I'm a mean old cat lady that never has anyone over. John Harper. Well, that's because you give them the hand when they come to the door. Put a sign out that says, Girl Scouts, welcome to sell me cookies. Is it okay to haggle with the Girl Scouts? Cash King Trucking. It's okay to haggle for anything, but I don't think I think they have a price that they have to sell them at. You know, that's like the floor price on there. Mark is American, so short attention span. I do what I can on it. I only eat right-hand pizza. Girl Scout selling her cookies in front of a truck stop is never a bad idea. No doubt. That's where they should stand. Why don't they go to the truck stop? Oh, right. Look at all the people at the truck stop peeing at the fuel island. Mark off his message again. I'm on message right here. My Caddy has not been driven on public roads in 30 years. It's driven around inside the temperature control warehouse. I mean, I feel sad for this car. People want to see this. Let's get this car on the road. That's what cars are supposed to do. Doesn't Joe's Roller Wiener Emporium have a special and mechanically separated chicken roller wieners? Wow, that would be a great sign to see at a truck stop on the roller wiener thing. Mechanically separated chicken roller wieners. Probably won't even kill you. Remember where the first load you delivered went to? Mine was a Big Lots distribution center in Ohio. First road load would have gone probably to Chattanooga. I went down there all the time. So absolutely, the first load over the road would have been some kind of steel pipes or something steel going to Chattanooga. And I remember we'd pick up in Chattanooga at U.S. Pipe all the time there. Coming back, pipes. And I loved those. They were as long as a trailer. So a few straps and off you went. Yeah, I don't remember the exact first load, though. There's a long line of people who want to buy my car. When I'm ready to retire, I'll cash her in for $100,000. I just want to see it. I just want it on the road. I want it back where it belongs. You know, on the road, where cars belong. Hormel's limited edition canned chili, now mechanically separated gizzards and hog buttholes. That is actually on the in the ingredient list. As long as that's down the list, it's not one of the first ingredients, I think you're okay. Scotty Kim wrote a video the other day about a car coming to America that's going to sell for $4,700. Kansas King Trucking. Really? So any car that's less than a Mitsubishi Mirage, I mean, how great could that car be? Smart Girl Scout would set up next to a dispensary selling Mary Jane. I don't know why they don't do that either. Maybe they're not allowed within so many feet of the place. They're at gas stations here. That's where I'll see them sometimes. And in front of Meyer and stuff, they go out there. I don't trust public around my car. I can never replace my car if it gets in an accident. I know, but I mean, otherwise it's not. It's like having something that you don't use because you're afraid something's going to happen to it, which is exactly what you said. But then what is the joy of having it? You know, the joy of having it is using it. Let's get this thing on the road. No matter what car I had, it would be on the road, no matter how much it costs or whatever, because that's the only point of having something is enjoying it. Televisions to California, Fontana for Digby. Oh, I remember Digby. I don't even remember what state my first load went to. Columbia, Georgia. Yeah, I'm only guessing because I went down there all the time. I don't remember. I like those candy bars at the school sell. I love the caramel ones. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody came the other couple weeks ago doing that. Some kid I never saw with his dad, I assume. Probably to beat anybody up that gives him any grief or whatever because it's pretty big. But I'm like, yeah, right, I'm in. I don't think the Girl Scouts want to smell urine all day. I know. That's why probably not at the truck stop. Plus, it seems most drivers don't speak English, so there's a communication issue. Oh, you know what? They could Google Translate everything. Just say, just have it saying something in a bunch of different languages. But the stuff that goes on in the truck stop, maybe not. Driving down the freeway the other day, saw a man in a 70s Cutlass in the passenger seat. He had one of the science class skeletons buckled in. Wonder if he takes in the HOV lane with the skeleton. Nice. Hopefully he takes it to a truck show, to a car show. Scotty, like talking trucking advice from Coach and the local guy. I like Scotty Kilmer. You allow your children to loiter at the truck stop in the 2020, CPS will get called. Well, I've never seen, or for many, many years, Girl Scouts and really any kid, they're always with their parents selling stuff. So they're certainly not loitering at the truck stop by themselves. And yeah, I don't recommend sending your kids to sell stuff at the truck stop. Holy mackerel. Someday some of us will get together for some pasta and pizza at Pizza Cucina in Oswego, Illinois, near 30 and Douglas Road. All right. Is the owner and retired ABF driver? Really? That sounds great. That's not that far from here. That's only a couple of hours from here. My first car was a 70 Cutlass, two-door hardtop, great car. That'd be pretty nice. Before all the emissions. Have fun, Scotty Kilmer would be very entertaining. Yeah, exactly. Limit switching. I just want a good job and be able to keep it. No doubt. That's what we all want. I mean, getting a place good and keeping it. Picking up women in a Pinto, you better have a good tailpipe. That you can have any woman even talk to you if you get out of a Pinto. I mean, what is the competition like in the area? You're the only one with a car, I would think. 1979 Ford LTD Country Squire wagon. We had some of those. We would get a wagon every couple of years. This would have started in the 76 probably, but then probably by 80, 81, we were getting the Colony Park wagon whenever those came out. We were like, oh yeah, awesome, right. The magic lies in the Yayo or high-speed chicken feed. Makes you instantly handsome. It must be something. In that they're like, oh, you have a Pinto? Wow, I heard so much about those. I've heard about the runabout. Is yours a runabout? My first car was a 65 Newport. The trunk was bigger than some apartments I lived in. Oh, those would be pretty nice. 440 in that, right? Maybe, well, back then, right, what, 426 or whatever that was? Not 26. I spent a lot of time at Fontana when I worked for CRST. Yeah, don't they do a lot of work out there, CRST? They're the ones, remember, that keep the black ball list for all the other companies that they get to check into, that they get to check in on, allegedly. Right, they allegedly keep that list. They haven't admitted anything, but they're going to settle too. The problem with that big settlement with all those trucking companies is none of them are going to change. When you have a settlement, even the details of this settlement aren't released, they're going to still get to keep the list. They're still going to keep the list and bother everybody. That's the problem. I want to get a bullhorn and go out to their place and just yell at them. I wonder if that would do any good. When Mark gets old and starts to reminisce, he gets a full-size 70s wagon. I would like one. I love station wagons. I had a number of them myself, including an 82 Buick Electra Estate wagon, 63 Wildcat with a 443 Nailhead. That would be a good car, too. That should go to a car show, too. Wow. If a woman cares about the car you drive, she's the wrong woman and not worth your time. All right. Well, good. My wife doesn't know that much about cars, so perfect. I just have her, basically, we pick out the color, and then I go choose all the stuff about the car, so that's perfect. Back when we measured trunks by how many bodies they could hold, yeah, the big ones would put, 10 bodies in there. A Monaco, 74 Monaco, first car. Oh, you're a Dodge person. I never did a lot of Dodges. Myself. We did have that St. Regis, which was sort of a Monaco, but that was like an 80. If you're talking to a girl in a bar, ask her if she likes to live dangerously. And say, yeah, and hey, I got a Pinto. I want to go for a ride. Hey, I've got a Pinto. Like, see if she knows what you're talking about. A lot of people don't remember the story. As you know, we're getting many years past those Pinto stories. So that is always the problem. You get out the Pinto story and people are like, that's the thing. Once you get a little, that's how you know you're older. Hey, remember the Pinto? And they're like, no, I don't remember. Hormel reference, don't ask, don't tell. I have a can of Spam here. That stuff is so good. Here in Europe, we measure how many cases of beer they're hauled, or how many of those beer Slurpees apparently you could put in the United States, where you make it out of Coke and red, white, and blue. If you want to know you're not hungry enough, how much? Yeah, it's probably bottles there though. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't do that much with booze. Never been a big boozer, so that worked out perfect. So the hours of service, I did want to say the hours of service extension is still rolling along, but they limited it. So if you're working that extension, you don't get to do 390 to 399. You only get to take the hours of service extension now. So like you still have to fix your headlights now. All those lights that you've been delaying fixing for a year, you got to do all that stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting that they limited the amount of the extension, but they added fuel haulers and stuff to it. So that was pretty good. But it's really limited now to just the logbook. Pinto ownership is like eating a Taco Bell. makes it feel like it's on fire. I never had a Pinto. Right, Vega. I'm surprised I never did get one. So, Flat Highway. I'm 28 and I grew up on shows like the State Patrol in the heat of the night. Oh, all right, State Patrol, nice. My ELD died Saturday, so I'm on paper logs. Cashing trunk. What did it die from? Old age and not being used. Have you even ever used one in like the last year? So, I mean, you don't use it much. So, what are you doing about that? Did you have to go to the federal government too and send that email in and all that goofy stuff? To anyone just entering the stream, welcome to Mark's Comedy Hour. I appreciate that. I'll be here all week. Life was simple back then. We drove our dad's K5 Blazer to the bus stop or onto the hook to the shop. The K5 Blazer. This is gigantic, right? Something way bigger. Only in America, the stuff happens here, roadside or on the hook to the shop. You ain't running no papers. Yeah, what is with the ELD? So I know most of your loads you don't do an ELD on, right? Didn't you say you had to in between do a load or something unusual? What do you do? What do you do with that too? Do I not remember that you had it on the on your phone or no? Because if it's in your phone, does that mean your phone died? You know the Scouts buy the cookies at the store, then sell them. These are Girl Scout cookies or whatever boxed cookies. They're not selling me Oreos. Chris Keller, hey, how's it going? Hey, what's happening? There's a place in Louisville, right? And what? In Indianapolis, I think, are the two places that make the cookies. I think they're both close by here for the whole country. I remember. Are rolling windows better before going on duty or after? Oh, after. Believe me, you need time to let those things, simmer for a while inside you to make sure they're going to stay in there. You know the Scouts, let's see, GP and Geotab took off today. Right, understandable. We have to grill them next week. Yeah, well, I figured, they're taking Labor Day, but there's people driving. They should be here. No working ELD, you're not moving. Oh, no, we're going to paper log that and keep moving. I notified my carrier that it had died and just went back to paper logging. I kind of thought you just did it on your phone, but I guess not. I used to connect my ELD to the truck radio, and it will freeze up. Why would you do that? Does it play music? My book, Sierra England, is the worst trucking company. They're right up there at the top. They're in all this 10 company blackballing driver thing, too. They have to recoup some of that money they wasted on Coach. I don't know what the story is over there. Paper locks bum me out. A lot of math. Oh, nice. Yeah, no doubt. You got to figure all this stuff out. Remember? That's why drivers today that are just coming into the industry today should be taught how to paper log. And I don't know if they're being taught that. Because if your ELD goes out, you need to run a paper log. And if you've never done one and don't know how to do it, you're going to be out of luck. So drivers should have to learn paper logs. In the 90s, I ran two logbooks. I'm very surprised to hear this as well. I can't believe people did this. Buy outside the box. ELDs in America is kind of a weak sauce. Well, we have those, paper logs as a backup. Chris doesn't use a logbook for local exemption, so you don't have to worry about it. Here, they don't local exempt anybody. They said they don't care if you just drive 5 miles. Everybody logs. And it turns out they're allowed to do that. They can make everybody log. I don't know why they do that, but they said, well, if you're in and out of whatever, so no way. Before buying cookies from Scouts, you need to ask for their permit to sell. Listen, I'm going in there. First, Joan waves them off with the hand. Cash is King has given one of them a lesson in economics. And I'm over there asking for their permits. You got a permit? What's up with the... Well, I don't see a permit. What's your health department rating? Is it a B, an A? What is it? They're like, let's leave. My neighbors have COVID. How would you even know that? Do people talk to their neighbors? We just eye each other. And coming home, we just give each other the evil eye. I use Keep Trucking. It's on my phone. The recording device that connects to the truck is what has died. Oh. So it won't record anything. All right. Can you just get another one? I don't know how long it takes to get one. The Midisco Cookie Factory workers are on strike in Portland. I heard that. Or no more Oreos. I ran 3 logbooks and got shut down because I gave the officer the wrong book. You have to keep, when you're running more than one book, right, we got to keep track of which book to hand out to the officer. Always keep the one on top that is the correct book. And have the other 2 hidden somewhere. It's not enough that the roller wiener gets turned mechanical. Now it needs to be separated mechanically too. Yeah, can we have people do this? Is this robots are taking over everything? Now they're separating our wieners mechanically? I don't understand it. Back in the tachograph days, saw a maggot wagon cart. It looked like a long play vinyl record. It doesn't have a bunch of dots in it and stuff. 2 paper logs, that's a travesty. I don't understand it. I don't know why you have them in your truck. As soon as you're done with one, it gets tossed and you start another second one. Word on the street that Nabisco is going to replace their union workers with the Oompa Loompas. They'll eat all the cookies. Do they need working papers? No, they're selling. So they're not at a job. I'm thinking they're needing... Somebody thinks they need like a permit to sell, in front of the store, but it's the Girl Scouts. I don't see your restaurant rating B+ or whatever. In other words, being given, asking as a whiteboard out. Listen, if your cookie's $5, I can get them for $3. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine. I say come out of Walmart with some of the $1 packages of cookies, sit down and munch on them. Hey, listen, you see why these are $1, kid? Okay, you see where you're going wrong? This is where you're going wrong right here. I threw my logs out the window in Lumberton. Told them I left it at the diner, 8 hours out of service and a $75 fine. That's sometimes better than a falsified logbook. Just saying, I don't even have one. I just talked to my neighbor as her husband's on the volunteer fire department. I wanted him to check on my fire alarm. She told me they've got COVID. Okay, he'll be there, but he's got the COVIDs. So now what? Now do you have COVID since you talked to her? And I'm serious about that. Are they going to be? Is the health department going to be calling you? I received a cold call from a Keep Trucking employee asking me to give him the contact information of the person in charge of purchasing at the E-Log Systems. Hey, give me that contact. He needs to find that out himself. Tell him, look, the Girl Scouts are better at doing this. Girl Scouts selling sweets at a corner is suspicious. I'm buying them. Tell them if you can beat this deal, I'll buy yours. Look, I can get these for $1 in here. These are Hydrox cookies. You got to beat that. Keebler uses elves. Look, if they can make all those cookies in a tree, I don't know why we're not getting them. Cookie Monster needs to raid them and get them out of the public. We're going to send the Cookie Monster over for you. I'd like to say, talk to the booty because the hand is on duty. And I said duty. Don't say that to a Girl Scout, though. You'll end up talking to a judge the next day about that. They're building an automated drive-through truck wash in Louisville. That's good. I always wonder, why aren't they automated? They're automated for your car. Nobody comes and washes my car at the car wash. I just drive into the thing. I got an unlimited wash thing for the car. And you just drive in there, boom. Car washes the car, I leave. Go through the dryer thing at the end of it and leave. So why don't they have that for trucks? John Schneider's General Lee was destroyed by Hurricane Ida. I did see a picture of that, and I was really sad about it, believe me. I saw that. It was a sad day. Lucas, good to see you all again. Got a Western Star 49X order. Nice. Coming in December. Fingers crossed it doesn't get delayed. It might, but we'll see. Send a picture of it. Love Western Stars. Super fun. It's not duty. It's a Baby Ruth bar. Thank you for that. On not Groundhog Day, right? I can't think of the movie. He's not coming over. Can catch it on the phone. Oh, okay. Okay, you said talk to him. I got the impression you talked to him in person. I like Project Farms channel. I don't know what that is. Check Girl Scout Yelp reviews. Listen, kid, what's your Yelp? I'm going to Yelp review here. I can just see you two out there with these poor Girl Scouts. They're crying. Everybody's leaving. Got a 20-cent raise. Wow, check will increase from $1,400 to $1,900 a week. Who's giving out, Jay, if you want to say, who's giving out a 20-cent raise? Was that just you or someplace raised their pay by 20 cents? I mean, we got bar none out here. which I put out there. Look, bar none is talking $24.85 a week with a year experience. $24.85 a week. They're paying $265 a shift plus $90 a load. And they're saying it on 7 days. If you do one load per day and $265, you can make $2,485 a week. That's crazy. As company drivers, oh my gosh. There were like 11 General Lees, only one working at a time in shop after every river jump, I'm sure. I assume they ruined them all. Great Hydrox reference, by the way. Kansas King Jerry. I thought you would enjoy Hydrox, right? Kias used to be cheap too. Now look, Stinger for $60 and a Telluride $45,000. They did raise, but you can still get, a Rio for under $20,000. We have an automatic truck wash at Home DC, Steel Horse. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, some companies have an automatic truck wash at their location. Why not have them everywhere where you just put your card in or whatever and run through an automatic wash? Everybody's car does that, don't they? How many places are left that they have people where you get out of the car like you used to and walk with your car while it goes through the thing, and at the end of it, 12 people come and towel your car off with a chamois that they've used in the last 300 cars? I mean, that's got to be quite unusual. Covenant had an automatic truck wash, was broken more than working. They should keep them working to keep their trucks clean. But still, there's no reason not to have them automatic. Let's see here. Hey, Patrick Rowe, what's happening? They had people in Cessna scouting for more cars in people's backyards. Really? Oh, they could Google map it now, I guess. What if Swift and Schneider merge? Oh, my gosh. I wonder if they would need regulatory approval because they'd be so big. I'm serious about that. I mean, two huge places? Holy moly. Dave Johnson, got a cook for the fam. Great show. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here on Labor Day. The family dollar count was so short on drivers, they had to increase the pay. Really? Well, that's tough work, though, right? So that's work. 20 cents. 20 cents. $1,900 a week to do that. And people want to go to college. That's the thing of it. You know, college is great for being a doctor or a lawyer or like something like that, But for just regular degrees, go to school for 3 weeks for, even if it's $10,000 for truck school, which I've seen some of them at 10. Holy mackerel, your whole life changes. You can always be gone for a few years when you come out of truck school and then go get a local job or stay gone or whatever you want to do. But I mean, gee whiz. Mine is electric and battery, but changed the batteries and it kept beeping. Oh, right, I threw that thing out the window. I had a Girl Scout cookie. Spit it out and tell them you want your money back. I want my money back. Aren't these guaranteed? I'm at Walmart. Are these guarantees? Keep your mind on your money on your mind. All right, that's playing right here in the background. Google Translate to a Girl Scout is get lost. Yeah, I can't beat it. I steal horse. What's going on? Homie, you look like Wild Bill. All right, I do what I can. Averitt Express's truck washes at their Nashville and Dallas terminal. They're automated and they do a decent job. Yeah, why can't those just be everywhere where you just drive up to it, card it for what? $30, and it washes your truck. It should be less than them doing with people in there, certainly. Eddie Stobart here is rather big. They have their own crash shop and their own towing company. I believe they might even be self-insured. Be fun to see what they do now with Brexit. Yeah, we'll see. You'll see, right? Is Ann Schneider still in Congress? It might just get approved. I don't know. Ann Schneider. What state is that from? Remember when Oreos had one flavor, went to the store today? Oh my gosh, 7? There's like the whole shelving thing is full of different Oreos. What are they doing over there at Oreo Land? Every kind of Oreo flavor. I hear stories about how college used to be $5,000 a year. Yeah, it was cheap. Super cheap. It's not that much now, really relative. But based on what you get for 4 years of college, you don't get any more than anybody with a high school diploma could get, so not worth it. Hey, man, if it wasn't for college people who would write CFRs that nobody can understand, that's true. How would we get dispatchers to make half of what drivers make? First 2 years of college used to be free in the 70s. Oh, nice. Was that in the United States? I guess Star went out of business. Which Star? Blue Star or Red Star? Same with Klondike Bar. They have 15 flavors. I know the whole frozen section is like that. Take the beer and leave the wieners. Nice. Okay, so that's Wisconsin. All right, good. See, I don't know all the Wisconsin congressmen, but that would be good. I think they would need that kind of approval, though, to get those two companies to link up together. Gosh, Swift is 16,000 something trucks. I don't know what Schneider is. 10,000, 10,000. It'd be a huge place. And probably other large companies would complain, and rightly so. Whatever happened on the job training, that's what trucking's all about, right? On the job training. Roller wieners are perfect to clear constipation. They're a medical device for that. You can get a prescription for them. Okay, Red Star's out of business. I didn't hear that. I paid off my student loan driving a truck. That's exactly right. People go get a student loan for a degree and then go drive in a truck and go, oh, wow, I can make this kind of money. I can make $100,000 driving. Imagine that. My French art history degree didn't pay that much when I was a docent at the French Art Museum. Yet if Mark goes further back, he'll think of that full-size van with the plush carpeting and the mattress in the back. Oh, yeah. Nah, we had ironically, on 01, we bought a Ford E150 conversion van. And the back seat did turn into a bed because with the kids at home, I thought it was way better than a minivan. It was huge. So everybody has plenty of room. It had a TV back there and everything, all lights in it and stuff. Yeah. Are any Dillon Transport drivers here today, Columbia, George? Yeah. Did any Dillon Transport drivers make it? From what I heard, there wasn't really anybody stranded. I looked around to find that and couldn't really find anybody complaining of being stranded. So my current employer built a building for an outside company to wash the trucks. It's all by hand, Paul Harris. But I'm thinking there's no reason, especially at a terminal, that they can't have an automated one. Especially at a terminal, you wouldn't need a cart or anything. You just pull in and drive the truck through, and at least it gets a decent wash every once in a while when you're at a terminal. So if a company that had terminals everywhere had that, everything you roll in, you just get your truck washed. Lola's Truck Wash in Romeoville, Illinois has an automated lane. Is it less money? Do you know if it is less money? I certainly think that if they're not going to have somebody there, if they don't have 9 people washing your truck, it should be less money. Now that it'll be playing for the rest of the day, what would you do for a Klondike bar in any flavor? Star in Morton, Illinois was bought by Swift. Oh, that figures. Bodies in the trunk, dead bodies? Well, who said they were dead bodies? I heard Snyder got a good tanker program if you want to be a tanker yanker. Snyder, it's one of those things. I always worry about that because they don't do tankers. I mean, mainly. That's not their main thing. But, hey, that might be better than the vans. You don't have as many people to compete with. I never see the trucks or trailers anymore, I guess because they got bought out. It's the end of the show. Roll the credits before Cash King breaks the hearts of more Girl Scouts. Some of you people are just terrible, the Girl Scouts. Holy mackerel. Listen, kid, I can pull rolls out this whiteboard. Come here a minute. Let me show you this. This is why I'm not buying your cookies. Knight-Swift with all the other companies have over 25,000 trucks plus trailers. Yeah, and then what if they bought Schneider? I mean, adding 10,000 trailers? That's something. I would go to the freezer for a Klondike bar, but that's about it. I can't go to the freezer. We don't have any of those here. You have to admit they're good. Those chocolate on chocolate ones, very good. But I agree, there's like in 40 flavors. I only ran loose leaf, so one logbook was enough, but I had to hide a case of loose leaves in the back. Well, there's no reason you can't have extra loose leaf pages. And a lot of people did that. They would have an extra loose leaf because they count the pages. I know a couple drivers that got busted for not having 31 pages in the logbook because apparently a couple scales would count them. And if you tear a page out, even if you get all little pieces, the log people, the DOT counted the pages at some of them and they got busted for not having pages and knew that they had ripped a page out. So better off to loose leaf it, I think. Paid off student loan and further your education all at the same time. Exactly. With something better. If you're going to work, you might as well make money. And, if you want to do French art history or whatever, that's great as long as you can support yourself. But I don't think people should go to college and then complain, I have $100,000 in student debt for some useless degree and I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, why didn't you check into that before you got that degree? Now go get a job and pay that off, so that you can then go back to being a docent at the amazing French Art History Museum, which I'm sure is populated with many people, all wearing berets. Heard Schneider can't do tanker because the newbie still drowned in the load locks. They used to have a tanker. They used to have a tanker, Wisconsin, with these outriggers on it, and they would take you around a skid pad and let you try to tip the truck over, and they haven't done a bunch of videos about it. I thought that was a pretty good program. Mark is off today. Show might go on for 3 or 4 hours. No, I don't want to hold anybody up really super long. I thought that was pretty good. And by the way, it is sponsored by Labor Day, of course. Sponsored by hard work. That's how you got to do it. Where did that go off to? And then of course I lose my spot. Gremlin was AMC's version of the Pinto. People love those though. I use Geotab for ELD. I haven't figured out how to use Yard Move just as well. There's, at least on our Geotab, there's a spot for it. I mean, as you go into, I think it's in exemptions. I don't use it. So, because I don't run a lot of hours. Let's just be honest about it. So I don't need to do any of that. But in exemptions, I think one of them is Yard Move. And you can just put yourself on Yard Move. But you got to remember to take yourself off of Yard Move. Okay, because some people have gotten busted by the company for driving, for 3 hours or whatever on Yard Move because they forget and leave it on Yard Move. Then they get a log violation. So then they have to go back in and get all that changed up or whatever, or get in trouble. So you can put it on there, and I think it's in exemptions. I wish Fleet Nav Systems was here, but they're off because it's Labor Day. So either way, it's on there. Yard Move is on there unless your company doesn't allow it, which they probably do. Did skid pad when you drove trucks in the Air Force? That was fun. Yeah, I think it's good training. I always thought, kids going out in a parking lot in the snow or whatever in the winter, I think it's actually good training on handling your car in a skid and stuff. Not besides being fun, just don't hit the light poles and stuff. No Duke's mayonnaise in upstate New York. What the heck is Duke's mayonnaise? They must not sell that around here. Automatic truck wash doesn't get the truck clean. It's better than nothing. It gets a lot of the extra dirt off. And the car wash gets the car very clean. I'm pretty impressed by the way the car wash works. Why wouldn't it work as good on a truck? I've had a membership there. You have to be a member to for the car wash thing since they had it right here in town at Pop Wash. So unlimited washes, unlimited washing. Hard to get a long skid going. Clutch kicking high. 8 to get it going, but when it started, it kept coming. Well, they have you turn everything off in those trucks, and the idea is to go around, and then the truck tips, and it's got these big wheels, outriggers, and it held it up. I think it's great training. Probably some of the best training people can get, because you can actually feel when it's going to turn over. Keep it still going to you back to Lafayette. When is that going to be? When will that be? Patrick Girl, at least once a week, I catch one of your little programs. You sure do take trucking seriously. I give you credit for that. Thank you very much. I do take trucking seriously. It's been my whole life's career. So it's provided a whole income for me for my whole life. So yeah, I love it. I still think it's a great career for people. I went there pages out of and I got an email from Outrider, by the way, so I might get to go see one of their automated yard trucks. So Outrider, I did a video about Outrider, which has automated yard trucks that hook themselves up. And I wrote to them, I go, you know what, you got a truck by here? I'd love to come and see it. And they wrote back and said, how far are you willing to travel to see one of the trucks? So we'll see. We'll see what they say. Hopefully I can go out and see an automated yard truck and do a video about it and stuff. I went there pages out of my logbook. I tell them I just made a mistake, but never left the page in the truck. Cash is King Trucking. You're supposed to keep the page. Actually, you're supposed to just write on there, exit out or whatever, but leave them in there because they count them. That's what I've always heard over the years. So 400-pound waddling fat female of any color, but black preferred with a big mouth and a bad attitude studies. Okay, that sounds like a great great plan. Project farm reviews and tests everything. Okay, good. Our yard move changes to driving a 20 automatically, set by the company in Samsara. Oh, Truck Hershey. Okay, so that's how they get you on yard move. It doesn't have to be, though, because a yard can be pretty big, where you can get some speed going. So, all right, so you'd be automatically off it. Maybe that eliminates a lot of people having problems on yard move. Maybe they should do that here. I would suggest it to them, but they honestly don't care what I think. So they say, we have people to take care of that. Stop submitting suggestions. They already took the suggestion box out because I filled it with stupid stuff all the time. We need a raise. One time I wrote out on pieces of paper, I'd cut them up and but like 400 times and just stuffed it in there. They took the thing out. Younger drivers can't read a map book either. That should be taught as well. My yard move only works for 15 minutes or up to 15 miles an hour, Cash King Trucking. See, so companies are limiting it. They're not that smart here because we don't have people that know what they're doing to run the company. Oh, it's Labor Day. I got some barbecue pork. What are you going to do? Nice. I hope you brought enough for everybody, too. Now we have lasagna and pork. I'll be back in an hour or two. Where are you going today? The bug juice will clog the drains. Mark, if you weren't a trucker, what would you be doing? I had initially was going to work for NASA. Was always the idea, as a Star Trek fan in that. And I had a scholarship to college, to be honest with you, but turned it down. So I probably would be working for NASA developing interstellar drive to get us to other planets. That's really what I wanted to do. So, and that seems unusual for a driver, but that's the truth. I get $1,800 a week and I don't have to touch a single box. I know you do pretty good there. You get over $1 a mile some weeks as a company driver, way over $1 a mile, which I find to be not bad. You get more a mile as a company driver than some Christian drivers, JCT drivers get for, owning the truck. If you don't have a job and you fire up the grill on Labor Day, do you break any laws? Steel horse. I was suggesting that earlier, that there's a lot of people celebrating Labor Day that don't do any work. How do you get to celebrate Labor Day? You should have to work. GP gives us 8 loose log pages. Yeah, in case your ELD goes down, right? That's what they're doing. I just carry a blank logbook with me. I just throw it up in the thing. I actually have one with me because of changing trucks also. But when I get a truck for a while, I'll throw it up in the cabinet or whatever up there. Absolutely, though. You just keep a blank logbook with you, and you're all set. Coors Miller in Albany has automated forklifts with the exception of the ones loading the trucks. I think that'd be interesting to see, too. These are yard trucks. I wouldn't mind seeing the automated forklift either, but I think the yard truck hooking itself up to the trailer, it's got a hand that hooks the hose up onto the trailer. Oh, it should look like a hand, too. I wish it looked like a real hand. With like a tattoo and a ring on it or something. That'd be something. A pinky ring. Oh, that's what it needs. It needs a pinky ring. What company do you drive for? Oh, well, even on Labor Day, I try to keep them out of the videos because all they'll do is come out and gripe about all the videos that you make. So I think people on YouTube should not really mention where they work. And also don't recruit for them, which I don't know if that's a good idea either, but I let them do their own recruiting since they don't think that we can know anything. So that just keeps them out of everything. Niagara Water loads with robots too. Oh, nice. Is it like the one that Tesla had? Hello, we are here to load you. I'm glad I'm a good cook and baker, no doubt. So we're not the next star yet because you didn't go to MIT and work at NASA. We're not at the next. That's a possibility, right? I could have thought of something. I had some ideas. I still actually work on some of that stuff, ironically, in the background a little bit. In my free time, I'm like, what if they did this? This might work out better. But, that's how it worked. Oh, Caddyshack. That was the name of it, right? All I was thinking was Groundhog Day. That's all that would come into mind. Here's the thought. We were born too late to explore the planet and born too early to explore space. Yeah, I'll never get to see it. I mean, the way we're going now, we're lucky that we're all still alive every day, much less anything else, all fighting over stupid stuff instead of working together, for the betterment of everybody. But I don't think I'll see it. Wouldn't surprise me. Companies like McDonald's go completely automated. Some of them almost are. And like I said, White Castle has this thing that makes hamburgers. So they're going to work on that. There'll be less and less people in there. Absolutely. I mean, they can't keep going $16, $18 an hour, $20 an hour. That's not going to happen. Because here in Indiana, they talked about closing the restaurants again inside. Because of, why. So that may go just back to drive-through. If you wear it, make it a parrot always. We should always have a parrot on our head. Or something, but certainly a parrot. Do you regret not doing that? No, because Patrick Rowe, once for a while I did probably, but time's passed. You can't regret the past. You can only go forward. So whatever happened in the past, that's how it goes. I can only move forward from today. Stuff that you don't do or whatever, you just don't do. So I always tell people, whatever you want to do, go do it right now. Don't waste any time. Whatever it is, you want a different job. You don't like what you're doing, quit and go do it. Quit and go do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do today. Because there's not that many days left. You can explore space on the next time around, maybe. Trucker Hershey, maybe. It wasn't necessarily to go. I wouldn't have mind doing that. Like I've said, I signed up for Mars 1 to go to Mars, but it was just to get something there. Probably a probe, I think, would do better. That'd be the thing to do. Look, then you changed everybody's life forever. I didn't have the brains to do that. I barely got out of high school to grow. Look, if you got out, that's all that matters. So join the Space Force. They don't take people in their extreme upper 30s, believe me. And they want people for that. They're going to want you with a degree. You'd have to go get a master's or PhD and that kind of thing. That's not going to happen. At Smith Transport, we just ripped our automated truck wash out and replaced it with something else. Really? Well, they should get a good one. Was it spray only? This one here's got all the little things that come down and wipe your car off and everything. It's pretty good. Look, it keeps the car super clean. I mean, every time the car goes out, it goes through the wash. And it does the underneath spray. That's mainly why I got it. For the underneath spray, it gets all the beet salt off of the car in the wintertime because they just rust out. The automated truck yard has a black box on the rear deck plate. The lid lifts up and a hand named Thing reaches out. You know, they should call it Thing. That's actually pretty good for marketing. I wonder if that's trademarked. But yeah, it should actually be a hand or something. I'd love to go see it. I'm waiting for him to write back and say where the truck is. I'll go a couple of 100 miles to go find one, I think. Why do we drink the water from the oceans? People died in there. We probably don't drink it directly, but we got to drink water from somewhere. What's the favorite type of trailer to pull? It depends on what you're doing. I mean, on the road, refrigerated, because I like the long miles. I always got long miles on refrigerated loads. And but for anything else, whatever is available. Flatbed's better for a mental workout because you got to figure out how to keep everything on the trailer. Dry vans, a lot more of those around, and that's what I do now because it's just a drop and hook. And you know what fish do in the water too, yeah, and all the guns and stuff that people throw off of bridges in there. Star Transport out of Moline went under due to 2 bad accidents, and Swift bought them into steel. That's how they do everything. That's how they got Simon or whatever too, right? The skunk one. They loaned him money or something. They couldn't pay it back, some kind of deal like that. I'm not doing what I want, but I'm working to get there. I'm making 90, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Deep Prince, yeah, exactly. Well, look, you got to do something, absolutely. And maybe you can't, maybe we can't just quit and go do it today, of course. But if there's something really like, oh, I'd really like to do this, I'd really like to impact the world doing this, figure out a way to go do it. Not like I'll do it someday or maybe when I'm retired. No, right now. Start figuring out how do I get there from here to there immediately, as little time as possible. If you make it a parrot, I think you should always wear a headset, especially Labor Day. Drivers should wear their headset into the truck stop to impress all the people that are traveling that you have a lot of money, because the only people that wear headsets are doctors and like CEOs and stuff. That's the only people that have these on their head, right? That's who has it. So you got to go in there and especially talk. They'll be like, oh, that person is rich. I bet they have a Rolls Royce. I need someone to clean the top half of my siding now with the pressure washer. Yuck. Craigslist. Well, there, imagine, Mark, did you follow the advice of the astute driver and hit the trimmer? Not yet. Pinto or Yugo? Yugo's more fun because people would talk to you more about it. Pinto's probably more reliable, but not much. I remember the first time I watched Star Trek was back in the 70s. Kirk fighting that dude that looked like a lizard. Oh, very good. The Gorn. That's a very good episode. That is a very good episode. They actually did that one on Mythbusters, too, to see if you could do that. You can't. But very good. Those people knew that we had advanced at least enough where we wouldn't just automatically kill someone. I wish it was like that now on the planet, the way that episode went. I'll never make 90 a year. Hey, you never know if you'll make $90,000 a year. People only make 90 a year if they think they can make it. I will say that for Motivation Monday. You have to live like you're making it and know that you're making it. When you talk to people, yeah, this is what I do or whatever. Be the thing you're going to be. Our yard move canceled itself at 20 miles an hour. That's a good idea, I guess, so that we don't get drivers on yard move for hours. Maybe I should tell them that, but I don't care that much because they aggravate me and saying, well, we have people that do that. Automated yard trucks and forklifts will control us all like Skynet. Yeah, the good thing about yard trucks is they're slow, so we can outrun them. But absolutely. But they have this thing, and I wanted to go see it, and I might actually get to go see one. Since they wrote back to me, a lot of places don't. Where will you go to see one? If they have one in the area, I'll see it and do a video about it if they'll let me. William, it's later than you think. Absolutely. I get $1,800 guarantee a week. It's 93.6. Absolutely right. 93 guarantee, which rhymes. Love it. Did Mark pay you to ask that question? Oh my gosh. Star Trek, it was the Gorn episode, right? Get a Trabby and a bumper sticker. I compensate your green car. Nice. I've been trying to remember the name of a movie. Can't remember for about 4 weeks now. Eventually, when you stop thinking about it, it comes to you. Just applied to Marathon Petroleum Local Fuel. 75 plus, local, and home every day. Isn't that pretty good? They're running tanker fuel jobs here. It's pilot mainly because of where I live. But it doesn't say what it pays. Those should pay good. Do you need a TWIC card for that? Every time I wear my blue part in public, people ask me for my autograph because they think I'm Garth Brooks. Exactly. When you have that kind of expensive technology on, people are amazed because most people don't have it. And they're like, who is that? They're like, where's Trisha? I'll make over 90 at GP, Trucker Hershey. That's really good, isn't it? Isn't it amazing that with just a high school diploma, and what I always tell people, with just basically a GED and even a felony in some places, you can make twice what the population makes. Not bad. And that's a good way to get started on whatever you want. On the full-size van, I was talking further back than that. Yeah, I was never a big van person. I hear you. Always sedans. Me for sedans, but all right, I get you. Right. With just that little round window, or the window in the back that's a heart shape. You know what you're supposed to do. I was told to go to meetings. Well, don't do what other people say. What do you want to do? All right. What about you? Not what other people say, no matter what other people say. It's what you want to do. Sit in a room, right? A dark room for an hour and just write everything down that you want to do. And then start doing them. What was the movie about? Some will know it. We don't know. You can make 10,000 over 90. You could. I still think 90, though. I mean, look at just a few years ago. People now are talking about making 90,000 plus. I think that's amazing. That's really amazing. A few years ago, nobody was making 90,000, really. Very rare in trucking. Now look at everybody. Homie, you answered more questions in 5 minutes. I think I answered my whole life. Well, I appreciate that. I still know what you did last summer. Oh, is RVT still a thing? RVT. Oh, Red Viking. Yeah, he does videos all the time. He had a video out, just recently, right? I think so. So, yeah. If you're subscribed, you should get notifications. So, absolutely. If that's what we're talking about, right? So, I would think so. Yeah. He's still out there. Trucker Hershey, same here. Exactly. That's exactly correct. Right. Let's see where this went off to. Oh, there's this guy, right? This was me and my first blue parrot. People don't know this. That is my first blue parrot that was bought for me in the 80s when I was a baby. No laughing from the peanut gallery over here. And that's when I was a baby there in the 80s. So that's how that went right there. With that 20 cents raise, what did that raise it to? A lot. That's a huge raise. We just started home bi-weekly during the week, 65 cents, right? And home weekend, $1,800 a week guarantee, and home bi-weekly. Yeah, they're doing this $1,800 a week over there at Smith, and I think that's really good money too. To be guaranteed money, where you're going to make that every week. There isn't like, oh, I've got a problem, my miles are low. I always love a guarantee. Inflation and cost of living is still outpacing wages. William, maybe. Depends how much money you make. I mean, for some people it probably is, but some people it isn't. So we have to figure out what can we do to make more money than inflation. And like gas today here, $3.09. So is that a lot? It's up $1 in the last year. 2 men traveled to this town and it was abandoned, but in the night there was a devil in the streets. Oh, that sounds like the last couple weekends ago. I'm walking through town here. Do you keep a CB in your truck? I do. I have a handheld CB that I keep in the truck because I end up switching trucks more often than I would like. So I have a handheld CB that plugs in the cigarette lighter. And it also will take AA's, but I don't have any in it. It's just for talking to people that are in, like if there's bad traffic and we're stopped for some reason that I didn't see on Google Maps, or in bad weather, I'll turn it on. Otherwise, I don't have it on. I do think people should have a CB. And if you're in the same truck, it should be a regular CB so that you can find out directions, maybe talk to a doc if they still do that. You know, I think everybody should still have a CB to talk to each other. Absolutely. So I do have one with me. I just don't have a full size. It would be a pain installing it and taking it out all the time. I had 3 trucks last week. Did Mark just admit that he doesn't do any work? No, I do all kinds of work. I do a drop and hook. That's a lot of work. I've actually had the CB radio save my bum in a few. Exactly, right. So it just depends. But everybody should always have a CB in the truck, I think. They're super inexpensive. What? $50 will get you a decent radio. I think if you'll spend $100, and maybe not, if you just started driving, maybe not right away, but, you know, within a year, get $100 together, $120 together, and get a good Cobra CB and install it. It'll last you forever. And I still have my Cobra, but I don't use it every day, so... I had a Cobra 29 weather monitor night watch, so it lit up at night. I liked it, and I always had a CB. I've always had a CB. I started out with a 23-channel CB in the truck. That was my first CB, realistic 23-channel CB, which I still have that thing too somewhere. I don't know That'd be in storage somewhere, but I still have a couple of 23s. 50 minutes was $5. Yeah, you used to have to buy minutes too, right? Let's see here. At 65 cents, 2,800 miles, you get 1820. We don't have to worry about stupid bonuses or driver-facing cameras, right? That's a big thing. That's what's going to be on the Mark of Excellence, which I decided to take pay off of that. There's just too many different ways to get paid. Everybody's getting paid now. We got, like bar none, with a flat daily rate and a load amount. Some people get 150 a day and 25 cents a mile. So it'll just be, no driver-facing camera, APU, EPU, unlimited idling, no Greyhound, no room sharing, and no team training. So I think those kind of things, it'll be more of a, are you being treated well? And I think companies that do these things will end up being higher paying companies as well. So I think that's how that'll work for the Mark of Excellence. I like the Cobra Night Watch. Yeah, I love that thing at night. It's so snazzy looking, to be honest with you. But then I'm the only one looking at it. But that's the one I got. It was like $129 a number of years ago. But it worked for many years in the truck, bouncing around and stuff. So spend a little bit of money on a decent radio, and I think they'll last you for a while. They said the average income is $52,000 on Google. I disagree with that, Patrick. Or I'll tell you what, a lot of drivers don't make a lot of money when you start, and depending on the company, which is where a lot of drivers go, Western Express and companies like that, the income is really low. So I think that brings the average down. Here on this channel, we basically get experienced drivers that are at much better companies. And so I think the overall average here is much higher than the average driver, because these here on the channel, it's not the average drivers. So, and that is true. So I think that's why here, I think it's more than we see just in the industry. What is the CB good for? Well, you could talk to drivers in an accident. What lane is closed, bad weather, like there's an ice, there's something like that. Or some docks, hey, get on channel 28 and go do that kind of thing. So I still think you should have a way to communicate out of the truck like that. Last good Cobra was the late 90s before they went to China manufacturing. For a new radio, get a President. They're about the same price, and good Walker 2 will run you $130. All right, for $130, right, you're at the same price. I never heard of President. Is that like a good brand name, and where are they made? Can't remember, was your Smart Trucking that suggested GP Transco, but I'm glad I've considered it. Yeah, both of us probably, because they like it too. They actually did a video with their with one of the GP Transco trucks. So I'm hoping to get up to GP Transco here soon to do a video with one of their trucks. And I think that would be really great. And I think this cat would appreciate it too. Look at that fluff ball. I just can't stand it. I just want to pet it so much, but then I don't want to mess its fur up like it's a perfect fur. So either way, I get weird around cats. I just do. Yeah, you could talk to other drivers. Oh, right. There's also talking to other drivers at the truck stop, because you have to alert them to what type of undergarments you're wearing. So drivers like to know that. Presidents are a lot better built. Where are they made, though? They're probably not made. They got to be made in China. What companies have female trainers? All of them. I think all of them that have trainers probably have some women that are trainers. So I would think so, because they're just women drivers, but it's going to be very few. What is it, 6% now, according to Women in Trucking? 6% of drivers are women. And then it's only a small percentage of people overall that want to be trainers and are good at it. So it's going to be very few, but they are out there. Believe me, they're out there, and I bet they're way in demand. At companies that take students, huge demand for them, because there's so few of them. If you are a woman in the industry and a trainer, oh my gosh, it'd be almost like being as good as like a husband-wife team, or a team that's been a team for years and come together as a team to a company. You have to be in huge demand. William likes our Galaxy radio. I've heard of Galaxies. People like those. Mark, I can actually watch you more than I watch those other trucking videos because you seem more down to earth. Patrick, hey, I'm just literally a driver like everybody else. I go out and drive every day, right? I do route every day, so I'm just a driver like everybody else that just wants to get information out there. So I appreciate that. I really do, because I'm amazed. I talk to my wife about this all the time. I'm amazed anybody ever tunes in. So absolutely. I appreciate everybody being here. Those other guys seem like they got their heads stuck up their butt. Some do. Like, some are good, though. Okay. Absolutely. I love using my CB radio to figure out which lane is closed. I just get in that closed lane and haul right up to the front of the line. Yeah, that way you know which lane is going to be moving. Oh, right lane closed? Bingo, I got to get to the right lane. Without a CB, you might not know that. So that's good. Now, when you pass trucks, when you're in the lane, do you alert them to what type of underpants you're wearing as well? When you're bored or tired, you can talk on the CB. You could. That's not generally something. That's not something I recommend. You don't get out far, and that's not. I only use it for information. I guess you could. Information for traffic, weather, conversations. Some applications require one. Yeah, I would go with that. I was never a big talker on it. Usually the discussion on the CB is not of, certainly it doesn't have to be like we're discussing Shakespeare every day on there, but I mean, it gets pretty low pretty fast. The anonymity of people, unfortunately, brings out the worst in people. The 80s, you spring chicken. I was messing around in the Marine Corps in the 80s, having guys tell me you were bad. Yeah, I was just born then, you know. That's my 80s picture there from, the mall. Heavy haul, need to talk with the escorts. Oh, okay, John writes. So for something like that, a unique position, you could talk to the escorts on heavy haul. First Girl Scouts and then driving the closed lane. Look, that's how you get work done here. We don't have time to be messing around with Girl Scouts or in closed lanes. We have stuff to do. We got loads to restack, which that load looked like a mess, by the way. Mark, I will see you look as every bit as old as I do. You've been rode hard and put up wet. I don't know. Look, just born in the 30s, graduated high school at whatever year that makes it. Absolutely. China, but they have better internals, better build quality than the Cobras. So they're still made in China, but they're the same price. So, and my Cobra, I guess, is a 2000s Cobra. So, and it served me for years on the road. I don't put it in the trucks just because it's too complicated to put it in and take it out. Listening to the radio, that many drivers don't know how to merge instead of alternating like a zipper. They stack up single file. Absolutely. And then one guy will block everything. One person will block everything. And so then everybody gets backed up there. Zipper it up. Still Horse, we have 6 female trainers. Wow. See, so there's hardly any women just in the industry, of course, and then even few trainers. I bet those female trainers, though, are always busy. It's not like there's ever like, oh, you don't have a student right now. They have to be tons of busy. 6 female trainers. Also, customer service for warranty and stuff like that, President tends to be better. You don't have to send it back to China. Nice thing about heavy haul, you're in a hotel with escort every night. Oh, nice. That's pretty nice. How do you explain that to your wife? I agree 100% with the CB thing. Yeah, absolutely. I may have to do the refresher course, but only with a woman. That's straight. I don't think they're going to be... I guess you could ask them, but the company can't ask them. They're like, whoa, wait a minute here. There are women trainers, just not many. Or tell them you have no panties on. Well, that's what I'm suggesting, that you need to discuss. Many people, it seems like men, they sound like men, seem to want to discuss their underwear or whatever they're wearing routinely. Some radios are 10-meter band, illegal, right in the 11-meter CB band in one radio, but you need a ham license. That's correct. And you'll need to get a general license to get on 10 meters. Let's see, 10, 6. Right, 6 is it, right? 10 meters general, right? I remember the days of the big radio. A dead key could shut down the whole truck stop. All right. Those guys on 10 meters are not allowed to be on there. Dump truck, we needed to talk to the loader and the scale houses. So there's another good reason to have one. President radios were also 10 meter. I never had one because they were expensive. Apparently at $130, that's the price of just a good radio. You do need to spend a little bit of money on a radio. It's something you're going to use all the time, I think, or have on every day. So don't cheap out on stuff like that. The cheap becomes expensive. Pay a little bit of money for better quality products of whatever you're buying. Everything is going to get automated to the point where there's going to be more people than jobs available. Well, that hasn't happened yet. I mean, there's still a lot of robots and there's still more to do. So we'll see how that goes. Somebody's got to build all the robots until they figure out how to build each other. The CB radio was like the original internet comment section. Everything just boils down to political yes, that's what happens there, right? That's why at the truck stop and that, it goes off. We can't have it on there. Is KSD still running ads in Evansville? I assume so. I haven't looked in Evansville, but yeah. I mean, they run ads a lot. I have a handheld 1969 Japan model. I could pick up NASA when the antenna is out. Nice. 1969. Boy, how many channels are on that? That's a crystal radio then, right? Depends on the model. They have 10 meter and 11 meters. I like my President Walker 2. It has build quality and more expensive radio, but it's in the 100 to 200. Yeah, I think low hundreds is what you're going to need to pay to get a decent radio. Depopulation will take care of that. Eventually, we'll all just kill each other. That's what I assume is going to happen. Did you hear about the 40 container ships waiting to get unloaded off the coast of Massachusetts? Nice. What are they waiting for? Why wasn't there a backup a year ago? Let's get all these things delivered or get them off the ships or whatever we're doing. What is a CB good for communication? Yes. I wonder who the first guy to say he had no panties on a CB was. Who is that? I bet there's a statue of him somewhere. In the back of a truck stop, probably in a parking place, there's a plaque. I bet that we just never see. From this spot on April 9th, 1966, the first driver. I mean, that's on like Roadside America or something. Zipper it up. Never hear that at the manhole. No, not with just chaps, right? Absolutely not. Some guy in my town was wagging his mail unit at a woman. They printed the story in the local paper. Wow, nice. And the weekly paper. Is that a good way to get women? I always wondered that from men that like whistle at women or do this kind of stuff. Is that how you get women? Is that like attractive? Women's like, oh, I need to go immediately with that guy. I don't know if that actually works. Never tried it. No plans to try that. So. Chevrolet President Andy. All right. So is it work good? Is it worth at $130 though? It's the price of a Cobra. So would you recommend that over a Cobra? That cat looks like a treble. That cat does look like a treble a little bit. It probably purrs like one too. 40 ships. I heard about 20 ships are waiting off of California. Let's get these things unloaded and get products going. No wonder it takes so long for Wish to deliver anything. Oh, I had a Connex. I've heard of that name. I believe it was $475. Now it's getting to be a lot of money. $475, I mean, low ones is all I'm willing to go on a CB. I don't think you need to spend any more. What are you getting for that? That's 4 CBs. A trucker says, yeah, Tribble. And it does kind of look like a Tribble, which I have a Tribble in the bedroom. So, by the way, naturally, it's next to a Galileo 7 shuttlecraft. Of course, you would assume I have that, which I do. With a guaranteed pay, getting stuck in traffic doesn't affect your check as long as I keep dispatch updated. That's exactly correct. That's why I like, you're basically not just even on guarantee, you're on salary. Almost. Right, that's what it says. It's in quotes too, right? Bubba Johnson Jr. from his GMC General. He sat here and clicked that CB at 10:18 p.m. on April 9th. I bet there's a whole plaque somewhere. Oh my gosh. Over 50 super container ships out of LA waiting for dock space. Great. Get these things out of here. Kirk always wins and gets the girl. Did you ever notice that? I did notice it. But he doesn't shake anything at them. You like it better than the Cobras? So it's worth the same money. You can only buy that at a truck stop though, right? I wouldn't even know where to buy one. What about Baba Booey? What about Baba Booey? Baba Booey. You do hear that. North Carolina camel jockey, I ain't got no panties on and shut up stupid, from this very spot were first uttered. It says these utterances came through the night, were heard through the night at a striker. Oh, I've heard of those too, right? Remember the cops episode of the trucker wearing pantyhose? I did not see that. I've seen a few trucks pulled over on there, but don't remember that one. And hey, men wear that all the time, don't they? I will say that some men do say you should wear that. Work for a company that paid me $105 a day and 21 cents a mile and 3% commission in 2007. That's what I'm saying. I can't do a mark of excellence on pay. There's too many different ways to get paid. So is that, I can't say, okay, you have to get a 50 cents or whatever minimum, and then here's 21 cents. So is that a bad pay? I don't think so. Some warehouses are shut down in the area due to flooding and workers can't get to work. All right. So they can't get these things unloaded. Okay. They should transfer them somewhere else. Go down the coast to another dock place where they put these ships. Too many ships and not enough berths. Move them to another port. There's a whole coastline. From what I understand, looking at a globe, there's a whole coastline. There's got to be some other ways to get into the United States, Got to buy a president online or at the CB shop. Yeah, so you go to the CB shop, get your president, have him install it. I don't understand how Kirk was in charge when they had Mr. Spock. They all said, and later, of course, we know he takes over ship in, the motion picture. But They wanted the emotional part too also, rather than just logic. We wouldn't think through an emotional solution to a problem. But I agree with you. I'd work for Spock all the time. For people that are online, which has just been one person all these years on Star Trek Online, of course, I'm a Vulcan on there. So see you on there. Find me. I'm Villic on there. I'm on there every day. It's all COVID's fault. They should blame it on that. I'm sure they do. I bought it at Sap Brothers. Oh, Sap Brothers does have a big storage stuff out there. And if it would last as long as a Cobra, I'd be in. No problem. Stryker's a great radio, but once I start seeing $400 for a radio, I'm like, wow, like that Connex, $475. There's no way that is any better than, a regular CB. I mean, come on, $475. I've had cars that cost less than that kind of money. That's a lot of money for a CB, especially when I don't really talk on it. Maybe if you're a big talker on it or something, but even years ago, before cell phones, I just listened. Just lurk there, and it was basically for docs and stuff. I wasn't really talking on them. That wasn't my thing. Talking on the CB, because it does devolve pretty quickly into just shouting and, name calling and stuff on there. Even then, nothing ever changed. Audio was uttered right here by the same Bubba Johnson from a GMC Astro, from a Chevrolet Titan sleeper here in this spot. Yours was a 955 and loved it. Yeah, if you talk on it, it may be worth paying more. But $500, I mean, crazy for a CB. 3 years so far, still horse. If you get a good one like that, apparently that is, they should last you for years, running it every day, bouncing around in the truck. That's why I don't want people getting one that's, other than a starter radio for $30 or whatever, you're going to spend a little more so that it can take the bouncing around in the truck and last you for years and still sound okay. Otherwise, you start getting all crackly and be like, we can't hear nothing. Flat Highway, my CB cost me $500. I got $40 and can get state police dispatch. Hello, state police. Owen Harper, you talked way too much on there on the CB. Mark and his blue parrot have a baby with just as much hair on top. That's about it, too. Can I get it? Yeah, anybody got a radio check out there? Who's got a radio check? Go to 22 for radio check. I had a Cobra 19 for 16 years. 19, wow. Well, of course, 16 years. I mean, you certainly got your money's worth out of that. So I think you're a satisfied customer. That is a long time to have a CB. That's the whole time you're driving, basically. Upper and lower sideband are the way to go. Sideband. There's not as many people there. People buy a Caddy instead of a Pinto too. Why? It's just a car, but nicer. I know, but there's a quality, just like in the CB. When you pay a little more, you get a little more quality. So that's the idea of upgrading a little bit on some stuff. You can't Hydrox your way through everything in life. Mark, do you remember your longest hail? Did you ever actually get a coast to coast? Oh yeah, I used to do coast to coast all the time for refrigerated. That's why I like refrigerated. I would do coast to coast constantly. And that was the best part of it. You go up to Albany from San Jose, and then we come down to Hershey, right, and load that to Yuma. I mean, absolutely. That is the way refrigerated went for me, and that's why I liked it so much. Toll road, seeing we pay to use it, shouldn't we be able to use a smooth lane? Is there one? That's the thing. I think nowadays, if you want something that's going to last the cheaper sub-$200 range, unfortunately, Cobra and unit engines don't cut it. They cut cost and quality. Well, if they're not the quality anymore, then go get one that is. Absolutely. Years ago, a Cobra would last you. Saw the oversized windsurfing blade hauler I did see that. Get hit by that train. I got a Cobra 19. I got the thing beefed up. Who do you want to talk to that's farther away than the radio can currently get? That's my question. On clear nights when skip is rolling, I picked up radios from hundreds of miles away. That's true. Depends on the skip. If I ever pay over $100 for a CB, better have a special switch for the dedicated Lot Lizard channel. I think a good one is in the low hundreds now, certainly. But if you can get 19 years out of the next one, or 16 years, right, like you said, I think 100 is not bad. Michael Muller never had a CB, really? I think it's time to get a CB. 2-meter radio has a built-in scanner. That is true. That's true. I have one right here. 2-meter, 440 right there. So they can't reroute them to other ports because the easiest ports don't have the space. The East Coast ports for additional capacity don't have enough port workers to handle it. Plus union. Oh, those dang unions are a problem. We'll send them somewhere. Florida, What about, isn't there Gulf Coast or something? Oh, they had a hurricane too. However, 29 Classic I bought in 95 still works. Only reason I don't use it is because the side mic mount and it won't fit in the Volvo. Are you part of the white Volvo mafia? My Connex was stolen in Laredo. Talk for miles. If you keyed up beside me while I was talking, it would fry your finals. Nice. But who do you want to talk to? Company truck can't drill holes to mount. That's true. Usually company won't let you do that. So what I've done on some of them is take that stuff, which I don't have in the back of this phone, get like that 3M mounting tape that holds 10 pounds. Seriously. And I'll stick that to the back of the CB and then just stick it right on the dashboard. It'll peel off. But it'll hold a CB. Get enough of them to, I've lined the whole back of a CB with this stuff, and it's plastic. It clicks in. It's not like Velcro. It clicks right in there. Or duct tape it down. I've done that kind of thing too. Yeah. I thought George Norrie did Coast to Coast. All right, or Art Bell. Why are we seeing so many train accidents? Why stop on the tracks? I wonder why that windmill thing was on those tracks. They couldn't make that corner anyway. Didn't somebody figure that out in advance? Did you notice it was going to run over the gate and everything to start with? I mean, I thought that was about ridiculous. Oh, got a Galaxy DX 949. Expensive. Trucker Hershey 93 in Rapid City. Weather on the ones. My trainer at USA Truck bought me that Cobra 19. That's pretty nice. Now, that's a good trainer. If you graduate here, I'll get you a Cobra 19, and you're still using it. What if that person is still a trainer? 440 is 70 centimeters to you and me. That's true. That's true. How's the union stopping them from unloading? They must only allow so many people to work at a time, some kind of weird rule. Let's get these things unloaded. Backwoods, I'm glad to see you're still doing the show. Ball as well. Yes, doing great. My old 102-inch whip used to pop fluorescent lighting tubes in parking garages. Why, that's a while ago. Can't even put a whip on a truck now. You are white Volvo Mafia, but it's 10-speed manual, not an automatic. So I'm an upper class. Those would be better. Do you have the lights, too, that are always on bright or whatever for some reason? I do see that on Volvos a lot. Ooh, let's run our brights all the time. People will love it. Right. So that's absolutely. If you wear it, don't forget to make it a parrot, by the way. I'm going to head on out of here, though. I don't want to hold everybody up on Labor Day. And who did we have for today? Oh, right. Cassius King Trucking was here today. And we should all go look at his channel. He just did a video not that long ago today about a load that needed a little reworking, and I think people should check that out. I think it's you were big to rework it, I will tell you that. And that's true. That's why you get paid more for those loads, because you have to rework them. That's a problem. So you're up instead of sleeping. Yikes. Listeners on here are more experienced and better paid, probably because companies are trying to keep you away from the newbies. That could be part of it too. They never write back to me, but I do think that I do really think that the people here are more experienced and so make more money. They made better choices in trucking and make more money just because of it. I don't think the trainer's driving anymore. He had 29 years back then and was ready to retire. Got lucky and learned a lot. That's good that you got a good trainer. I mean, as you know, it's a crapshoot. You can get a great person like that, and the next person has 29 days of experience. And that's the real problem, right? And then you got your CB, and that, his legacy lives on. Once you pass something on like that, that's a legacy, and I love it. My uncle was a trucker. He was carrying on 2 relationships, one in Pennsylvania and one in Kansas. No one figured it out till he wrecked a motorcycle and had a concussion. I don't recommend that. I don't know how people do that, okay? Me, married, 1 wife, plenty. I couldn't keep track of another one. Oh my gosh. This is hard enough to do. So, hard enough keeping 1 happy. That's what I think, seriously. But plus, make a promise, so I do think that. Trucker, she has nothing else to do. It's Labor Day. My CB is a Lafayette Dynacom. I never even heard of that. If you're considering getting a CB, get a quality antenna and proper SWRs. If you're going to talk on it much, right? It is the extended play Weiner version, absolutely. The extended Weiner version. Hey, man, if you're ever a trucker, just have one girl. Your life will be much more easy for anybody. Look, when you get married, you make an agreement. I do think that, right? And that's it. So that has to be the end of it, you know. Seriously. So that's Mark's relationship advice for the day. This is, 25 and a half years. So right now, February coming up, the next one. Today's time to relieve in appointment times. I mean, shouldn't we just show up? Yes, they should. Why do they have times, especially, and I see people post these videos from companies all the time. Well, I picked up this load and I'm looking, it's Tuesday or whatever. My delivery's Friday. It's 683 miles. I'm like, why is that? Why is that a thing? When you pick it up, you should be able to tell the company, this is when I'll be there. And then they tell that company, our driver will be there 2 p.m. tomorrow or whatever. And that's how it should work. Not this 3 days on 600 miles. Oh my gosh. Solve that problem, and I think people will be a lot happier. You hear my horn yet? Not yet. The cat also not moving. When I retire, I'll give my Cobra 19 to an autonomous truck. Maybe we can set it at the monument to the first driver that ever talked on the CB. You can blow up your radio if the SWRs are not accurate. That is true. Cobra, get a shop to do that if you don't know how to do it. Cobra 19s are good radios, so I don't understand why you people are mocking it. I have a Cobra 29. I think it's a good radio too. I got my stop, dropped and hook, went inside, went to the bathroom and something to eat. Back to the truck is still going, Chris. We're still, because it's Labor Day. So all these container ships are the aftermath from the Evergreen ship shutting down the canal. And plus all the containers that blew off of these other ships and go floating around in the ocean for 2 days and then sink. And that's all my stuff that doesn't get delivered to my house. And don't trust an internal SWR meter. Go get a good quality external meter if you're going to do anything on the radio. Of course, get the proper antennas and everything. For me, just listening, not as important to me. I'm rarely say anything on it. And believe me, the antenna that comes on a radio that plugs in your cigarette lighter that you carry with you doesn't get out far anyway. Half a mile, I've heard people on it. That's about it. I don't know how far it reaches out. I have it set to the highest setting, which is full blast, but I wouldn't do that with batteries. It probably only lasts 15 minutes. Run it on batteries at full blast. So absolutely not. But for a CB, yeah, if you want to talk on it, I mean, you want people to hear what kind of undergarments you're wearing. They're going to need to be able to hear you and to hear you clearly. You can't just do this stuff, without them knowing, without them being able to hear you. And so let's see, where am I going with that? Okay, so Handsome Poochie was first the other day, which I appreciate. Not here today though. George H.W. Bush was first today. So I'll let everybody go on Labor Day. I'm going to head on out of here and see what's going on here. Mark Ely was here today, and I appreciate that. Joan Harper was here today, aggravating the Girl Scouts. Patrick Rowe, that's something. Every time I see them now, I'm going to be thinking of what you guys said. Ked P was here. Jeff Raves was here. Cash is King Trucking, thank you for being here. Be sure to check out his video today for sure. Flat Highway was here. Joe, thank you for coming in. Backwoods is here. Let's see. John Zablack was here. I'm never good on that one, am I? Trucker Hershey was here. Let's see where we're going today. It's Labor Day, so everybody enjoy your Labor Day. Steel Horse, thank you for being here today. Let's see, where am I at here? DDS was here. Michael Muller was here. I appreciate you coming in, everybody. Believe me, and staying on Labor Day a little longer. Columbia George was here today. Slim Shady 76. Yo, what's up? DDS. I don't know what I'm doing. It's craziness time here, anyways. I'm surprised I didn't get bit on the foot yet by the cat. So either way, I'm going to head on out and see what's going on over there. Today is sponsored by. Let's see, where'd this go off to? Boy, Mark, you're not very good at this. I know. Today was sponsored by Hard Work, and it's Labor Day, so have an enjoyable one. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. I personally appreciate anybody coming in at all. The podcast will be out tomorrow and Friday, 2 a week. That's what we're still doing. People have not said anything about that, so we're still going to do 2 a week, see what country's up tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on with that. Be safe on Labor Day, all right? Thank you for coming in today and enlighten me on some of the stuff that I didn't know. So I always learn something every week. That's another good part of it. So that's what we're doing. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next.